not. You try and run, I'm going to track you down. You go to a teacher, it's only going to get worse.
Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. Your leader in sports in the Inland Empire.
The Riverside.
Now, here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
What is up? It's Monday. Welcome as we start the week to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. I know everyone has a case with the Mondays, but Monday's my favorite day of the week, Jeff, because we have the whole weekend to digest. We're talking about Friday night sports, Saturday, Sunday, and we have to look ahead, see the whole landscape of the entire week. I'm Pep Fernandez. That's Jeff Gorham. That's Greg Holla. Are you fired up to be here? You look fired up.
I say you just shut the hell up, Pep Fernandez.
Are you still in a bad mood?
It's a Monday, for gosh sake. You come in here all peppy, and I'm
feeling great.
I am still reveling in the Great Wolf Lodge, my friend. I think I might have caught impetigo, malaria, ringworm, pink eye. I think I got it all.
Sounds like it was a rough weekend for the Gorham clan.
Oh, we took old Connor for his birthday to the Great Wolf Lodge. There was more. I'm glad I inhaled all of that. What's the stuff you put in the water? Chlorine. I inhaled.
Clean out your insides.
Oh man, but it was a good time. I'm just a little bit tired. A lot of stairs walking and going up and down all those water slides, and they're scarier than dang going to Disneyland. I never want to go on a water slide as long as I live. I'd rather go on the biggest roller coaster in the world.
Oh, Jeff, you're just being a fuddy-duddy over here. Come on.
No, but I did get the chance to watch a lot of sports, and I got I've got a lot of views. I got a lot of anger. I have a lot of pent-up stuff I need to get out.
You have a lot of anger. It's all brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by their excellent customer service, and they've got great prices every 5,000 miles. Get your car, truck, SUV, minivan, whatever you got. Get it in there to Spoiled. Make sure your car is going strong all around the Inland Empire. They're right there off of Alessandro Boulevard. That's Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. All right, well, let's see. Let's start our Inland Sports headlines with the Dodgers. They were down south in Mexico taking on the Padres. And it started off great. I mean, they had a combined no-hitter on Friday night. Walker Buehler got the start. The rookie looked fantastic. And then they lost back-to-back games to the Padres. And to make matters worse, Clayton Kershaw is going on the disabled list. So if you're a Dodgers fan and you're hoping to see them turn a corner at some point and kind of start going in the right direction, it wasn't this weekend. Not only did they lose 2 out of 3 to San Diego, then they lost Clayton Kershaw to the DL.
They have Puig out. They have JT out. Their pitching staff is just combined, injured, everyone. Rich Hill, Ryu, and now Kershaw. But I'll say the one good thing about that no-hitter was Buehler. How can they put him back down?
And they won't. They won't. I mean, they've already came out and said that, like, he's going to stay in the majors. He's going to stay in that starting rotation because you have to. I mean, you're down guys. You don't even have enough starting pitchers right now because it seems like everyone's on the disabled list. And on top of that, they need some starting pitching, and he's been one of the. It's only been a couple starts, but he's been great. He's been great for the Dodgers, and now Clayton Kershaw is on the DL. Who's going to lead the way? It might be the young guy, Walker Buehler.
Well, they've got to figure it out pretty quickly here. I know no one wants to panic, being that they're only 34 games into the season, but you got to be a little concerned when you have 3 starters out, 3/4 of your infield's out, and they just don't seem to get any kind of break so far this season.
It was the first regular season series in Mexico since 1999. And again, it started off great down there in Mexico, Monterrey. But the Padres came back and they took 2 out of 3 over the weekend. And Clayton Kershaw, they're calling it bicep tendonitis. We'll talk about this later in the show. But yeah, he's going to be on the DL for a little bit. He's just sore. I'm not a doctor. I just play one here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE. But if it's only bicep tendonitis, I can't imagine him being out a long period of time. Hopefully not.
Well, you hope not. Maybe he just needs some time to kind of regroup. I mean, he's lost 3 to 4 miles an hour off his fastball this season. He started off, the worst start in his career as a Dodger. This is his last year before he goes into free agency, and you don't want to have this kind of year. So maybe just taking a little time off to regroup and fix his ails, whatever it may be, the tendonitis, whatever they're calling it. but maybe Clayton Kershaw just needs to shut it down for a little bit of time to kind of get back in that groove.
So Kershaw's out, but there may be a little bit of help on the way. So Yasiel Puig, it came out on Sunday, is going to go out on a rehab assignment. And, of course, we follow the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes on Twitter. They're home right here. We're practically brothers here on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. They were tweeting out that Puig is coming, and he's supposed to start the rehab assignment today, but the Quakes don't play today, right, Greg? I mean, Greg's not working tonight. Greg's going home. He's going to get a pizza and hang out. He's going to listen to some Creed and just have a chill night.
Yeah, Puig.
Right? I mean, so Puig is going to rehab, so it looks like Tuesday, because the Dodgers are going to call him back up to the big leagues, according to this report, on Wednesday. So that's one game with the Quakes, and that one game on Tuesday night would be down in Lake Elsinore. So if you follow the Quakes on Twitter, and I highly encourage you to do so, you'll get the very latest on Yasiel Puig. But it looks like, Jeff, just one game we're going to see him in a rehab assignment with the Quakes.
Yeah, it's a little strange, though, that a guy will go on the DL because of a bruised foot, run into a wall. I think he said he hurt his shoulder as well. But just get somebody, just any kind of spark to help this Dodger team. They're eight back right now. Arizona's still playing pretty well, the 23-11, but the Dodgers 15-19. Kind of a big drop-off considering they were just a few months removed from the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, they need to get reinforcements. So Yasiel Puig hopefully will be the first of several guys on the mend and coming back to the big league club. Logan Forsythe, another infielder, they're hoping to have him on a rehab assignment sometime this week. And then hopefully after him, and not too long after, will be Justin Turner, JT, the heart and soul of this team. They need him big time. Not only is he like the number 3 hitter, sometimes number 2, but he's a big bat in the lineup, but also the clubhouse guy. I mean, everybody loves Red Turn 2, Justin Turner. Again, the heart and soul of this Dodgers team. They need him back, but they need a lot of guys back. It seems like everybody's hurt. And this is the theme I talk about with the Dodgers every year. They always seem to have too many starting pitchers, too many outfielders. Like, there's just too many good quality guys, and it never fails. Guys get hurt right and left with the Dodgers, and it's like, wow, good thing they stockpiled all these great pitchers or outfielders, because lo and behold, they need them.
Oh, they need them in a bad way. I mean, when your top 3 pitchers are down and on the mend, you've got to do something. There's a lot of guys, a lot of names out there being tossed around. A couple local guys we'll talk about later that could be possibly in the mix in Dodger Town.
Yeah, maybe the Dodgers are going to have to make some moves here, because with all of these guys banged up on the disabled list, waiting to do these rehab assignments, they're going to have to maybe go out and get some Band-Aids, like something to get them through this rough patch with all these injuries. And there's been a local guy, like you mentioned, Jeff, that his name's come up, and maybe a starting pitcher out there to kind of shore up that starting rotation for now. Meanwhile, the Halos, if you're an Angels fan, man, you are just kicking back. You are loving life. All they do is win. Shohei Ohtani was back from that sprained ankle. He got the win against Seattle yesterday. It was an 8-2 Angels victory. Albert Pujols, 3,000 hits and counting. In fact, on Friday night, Jeff, I was texting you about this. Pujols, 3,000 hits. The Dodgers, a no-hitter. I mean, all kinds of stuff was happening on Friday night between the Dodgers and the Halos.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. If you are an Angels fan, you've got to be happy. Right now, you're sitting in first place, a game ahead of the world champion Houston Astros. They're just 5-5 in their last 10, but I'll tell you what, they're playing pretty well, and they're getting a lot from Ohtani. They're getting the greatness that we see of Mike Trout for the last 6 years, and Albert Pujols is continuing his terror on the base path.
So Ohtani's 3-1 on the season. Great effort yesterday up there in the Emerald City. Mike Trout with his 12th home run of the season continues to be the best player in baseball, at least in my estimate. Mike Trout having another fantastic season. Who is it, Greg? Greg goes,
who's the best player in baseball?
Listen, you get your pizza, you go home, listen to Creed, have a chill night. You don't have Quakes tonight. There's no reason for you to be in a bad mood. You're going to be here a very short shift today. Who is the best player in baseball, Greg? If it's not Mike Trout.
Exactly.
Don't say Yasiel Puig. Don't say Ken Hubbs.
I will say this, though.
I'll rest my case.
A couple guys, though, I will say that are rivaling our guy in Anaheim is
Who?
some of those New York Yankees right now. I'll tell you what.
Didi?
Oh, Didi right now is playing better than anybody. I mean, if you were to stop right now and say the season's over, he's definitely the MVP.
Didi Gregorius is a guy that I covered in the minors when he was in the California League years ago. I believe he was in the Texas Rangers organization at the time. He was a light-hitting middle infielder. And now he's like a power hitter. Like, I don't know what happened with Didi Gregorius, but all of a sudden, he's a guy that you put in the middle of the lineup. And if you'd have told me that the Yankees had, Aaron Judge, Mike Stanton, a.k.a. Giancarlo, but Didi Gregorius was going to be your best hitter this season, I would have said no way, but he is. I mean, look at all his stats, Jeff.
And think of it this way. Before he came to New York, they were really questioning if he could ever hit left-handed hitters, if he could ever hit for power. But yet he's hitting left-handed hitters, he's hitting for power, and right now he has had the best season. He slowed up in the last few days of the last week, but he's had the single best season we've seen in a long time, especially from that powerful lineup of the Yankees. He's
been fantastic. I'm shocked because, again, he was one of those guys coming up where, especially, with the middle infielders, they're known for their glove and less for the bat. If you're a great defensive player, you're like, okay, it's okay. If we have you out there on the field because you're a great, defensive player, that's fine because our offense is going to come from first base. It's going to come from third base. It's going to come from our corner outfielders. That's where a lot of the run production would come from. So you know what? It's okay. We'll take a flyer on a shortstop or a second baseman, and we want you out there for your glove. He was one of those guys coming up. That was his deal, and now he's the best hitter on the Yankees, which is crazy. Didi Gregorius. So.
Yeah, batting over 300 and playing just incredible. But let's go back to the Angels.
Please.
Shohei Ohtani.
I'm done with Didi.
Shohei Ohtani is a very, very good professional player. I would love to be able to go back in time to the time machine and say, hey, we're back in spring training, guys. Remember everybody said that they should put him down in the minors. What are we going to do with Shohei Ohtani? I'll tell you exactly what you do with Shohei Ohtani. You let Mike Scioscia and his staff coach this young man because they're doing a great job so far of kind of managing his early pro career here in the United States. They seem to be doing it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, because they know exactly, how many days rest this guy is going to need, how his body's holding up. I mean, they held him out for about 2 weeks after that sprained ankle, but he was in the lineup hitting, but he just wasn't pitching. So they know him better than anybody else. And if you're going to trust any manager in Major League Baseball, I would say Mike Scioscia is at the top of that list on how to handle players, navigating through something that, again, we haven't seen this. It's very rare. We don't see this very often with a guy who pitches and catches. And going back to spring training, the Angels were looking for specific little things that Ohtani was doing. It wasn't the win-loss. It wasn't what the ERA was. It wasn't, how many plate appearances, how many hits he got. It was little things that they were working with. And obviously it paid off because once we got to the regular season, Ohtani was just fine.
Yeah, and he's been, beyond fine. And another big surprise, I think, of the Angels is the starting pitching. That was their biggest question earlier going into the season. Look at Garrett Richards. They've had 13 different pitchers get wins this season. So you have Garrett Richards with 4 wins, and you have Ohtani with 3. But, man, Garrett Richards mowing down opponents, 45 strikeouts on a year so far. And Tyler Skaggs has kind of become a little hero out of that lineup or out of that pitching staff.
Yeah, I think the Halos overall, their starting pitching has been a pleasant surprise. Like, they've done pretty well, not exactly having a bunch of huge names in that starting rotation. I know if you're an Angels fan, some of these names have become household names because they've been around for a couple of years now. But, across Major League Baseball, we're not talking about the Clayton Kershaws of the world, the Felix Hernandez, those kind of guys. But they've done a great job. The Angels starting pitching has been one of the bright spots so far to this great start for the Angels. To local baseballs, we continue our inland sports headlines. UC Riverside over the weekend, they were swept by Long Beach State. What a long weekend against Long Beach State. The Highlanders losing all 3 games against the Dirtbags. They'll try to bounce back tomorrow night against San Diego. Jeff, if you're a UCR fan, you just want to see this team finish strong because it's been a tough stretch, and we knew it would be because the Big West Conference, we've mentioned this time and time again, for baseball, the Big West Conference, it's tough, man. It's one of the best in the country. You see great teams every single weekend, and UCR just happened to run into a really good one in Long Beach State.
Yeah, and you think about it, you did say the Big West is known for baseball. You know, it's a decent basketball conference, mid-major, but in baseball, you have powerhouses that have come out of the conference. You have the Dirtbags, Long Beach State, who, you know, just swept UC Riverside. And then you have a perennial power in Cal State Fullerton, who's won a couple of World Series championships. So a very good, great conference for baseball. But UC Riverside's very, very young. But they're getting a lot of action. These young guys are playing a lot, but they're just not getting the W's.
So UCR will take on the University of San Diego tomorrow night. Cal Baptist University, they will play at Dixie State beginning on Tuesday. It's the final series of the season. It's on the road. Right now, the Lancers are at 32-14 overall, 25-11 in the Pac West Conference. They are postseason bound. And hopefully they can, finish up the season strong. And they're playing their best baseball of the season. I mean, they've gotten hot since they knocked off APU. They'd won a couple games going into that APU series when APU was number 1 in the country. They took 3 out of 4 against Azusa Pacific, and CBU's been hot ever since. So we'll see if they can keep it going as they finish up on the road at Dixie State in the regular season. You were looking up Redlands, right?
Yes.
So the U of R was playing Chapman for the SCIAC title. So it's kind of weird because it's not single elimination. So they played Chapman on Friday and the U of R won, and Chapman was able to battle back and force Sunday. So the U of R lost game 1 on Sunday against Chapman. If U of R would have won it, it was over. But instead, Chapman won, so they had to play one more game on Sunday night, and Chapman won. It was 20-12. It was this high-scoring slugfest. So Redlands is Chapman is the SCIAC champion, but Redlands still has a shot to make it into the postseason because their overall record was so good. They beat a lot of really good teams. So at large, they could still make it. They're not the conference champ, but they could still get into the postseason tournament. There's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance, Jerry?
I'm saying there's a chance if you're a Bulldog fan. And finally, the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame is tonight. A little bit later in the show, we're going to celebrate all of the great local athletes and coaches going into the Hall of Fame. It's going to be a big shindig out there at the Riverside Convention Center. In fact, I was already out there this morning checking it all out. There's a lot of cool things and some big names on this list, Jeff. You don't have to read them all, but we're gonna get to these names and talk about these athletes and coaches later in the show. But maybe most notably Tyler Clary, the Olympic gold medalist who just won a gold in 2012, so just a couple of years ago. So he's still pretty recent in a lot of local sports fans' minds.
Very recent, but now it's taken on. I was kind of following him on social media. Is he a race car driver?
He's into motorsports now. He sure is.
So I guess when you get the racing in your blood, you really don't get it out.
He just wants to race. He wants to finish first.
Yeah, he just wants to. I can definitely applaud his work after swimming, but man, what a great career as a swimmer, winning the gold medals here.
So we're going to talk more about Tyler Clary and the rest of them later in the show. It's brought to you by our good friends at Ken Sporting Goods. More than 40 years in the Inland Empire, bringing you all of your sporting gear needs and Letterman's jackets. And they can also do team sales. So no order is too big. They can hook it up for you, your team, your business, your company. That's Ken Sporting Goods in Horsetown, USA, Norco, California. That's kensportinggoods.com. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, Jeff, we have not even got to the NBA playoffs. And now it's getting juicy. I would say this playoff round that we're currently in is basically over. We should go ahead, look ahead to the conference finals because all of these playoff series right now that we're currently in seem to be like foregone conclusions. We'll talk about the current matchups. We got 2 games tonight, in fact, one just tipped off on the East Coast. We'll talk NBA playoffs when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
I go to America!
Thanks for listening to Fox Sports, home of the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes.
We are Fox Sports!
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. This segment is brought to you by our good friends over at Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Basketball, football, lacrosse, golf, track and field, whatever you do, whether you're 8 years old or 18 years old, they can help you out. Bigger, faster, stronger, be the best on your team, get a scholarship, all those things. I got kids who play sports. I want the very best for them.
The very, very, very best.
As soon as Ray starts doing gymnastics, which he might, I'll have to go check in. If he's doing gymnastics, I'm there.
You know, I was a gymnast at one time.
No, you weren't.
I was. I could bend like none other. I still am very flexible for my giant girth. I'm a flexible guy, man.
You are?
I can touch my toes still. I can almost bend in half and put my nose to my knees. I can. If my stomach's in the way, but I can definitely do it. I can put my nose on my knees and stand straight up. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm very bendy.
Okay, I'm going to have to just take your word for that one.
Oh, I am.
BoostTrainingSystems.com. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on Twitter. Boost Performance Training. To the NBA playoffs. Jeff, why would I lie to you? I said we've got a game tipping off on the East Coast. They're already underway. You've got the score up. It's the C's and the Sixers.
I'll tell you what. I hate Boston. I've always hated Boston, but I want Boston to win so badly. More so than right now the Philadelphia 76ers. I want the Boston Celtics to be in the World Championship and get pummeled.
Well, they've been a great story just to get this far because Boston's up 3-0 in their playoff series. Cleveland's up 3-0 in their playoff series against Toronto, the number one team, the Raptors in the East. I would love to see Boston take on Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Final for the simple fact that you look at Boston and they are the ultimate team. Like there's no superstar names that are healthy, that are on the floor. They've got the best coach in the game right now, Brad Stevens. They are the epitome of a great team. On the flip side, you look at the Cavaliers, and they've got the best player on the planet. They're not a team. They don't even have that good of a coach, Tyronn Lue. Is he back?
Yeah, he's there.
He's back. Okay, so they are like the opposite of a great team. So it's like Cleveland and Boston doing it two completely different ways. Superstar versus a great team and coach. You know what I mean? It's like what style of basketball would win out if they got together in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Well, you would hope that good basketball would win out because you know, even though LeBron James is the best player on the planet, you still want to see something else other than LeBron James. When I watch Cleveland, I enjoy watching LeBron just because he is, like you said, the best player on the planet. He's 6'9" and runs the floor like a gazelle, stronger than anyone in the league, probably stronger than anyone in the NFL. People are probably scoffing at that. But I'll tell you this, Boston has a group, a collective of guys. Al Horford, a little long in the tooth, he's playing pretty darn well. And there's another guy who they're saying now should have been the number one pick, and that's Tatum. And he is a very, very good player. I'd put him in my top 3. But they, as a collective, they seem to play good, very good basketball, and it's all run by their head coach.
So both of the Eastern Conference playoff series, they're playing tonight. As we're looking right now, Boston's up by 1 at the end of the first quarter?
End of the first.
Okay, so 1 frame in the books. Boston's up by 1. They both play tonight. So theoretically, in the Eastern Conference, those playoff series could be done. It could be Boston versus Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals as early as tonight. They could both sweep out.
They could, and you kind of hope they do. I want to see Boston play Cleveland because I don't think they're too scared of LeBron James. If you watch Toronto, and I've watched this entire series, DeMar DeRozan has disappeared.
Yeah.
He wasn't even on the floor during crunch time because he looked scared to guard LeBron James. Everyone on that team looks like a deer caught in the headlights when LeBron James has the ball. In that last series, the last play of the game, they let LeBron James go 94 feet to the basket. They didn't double team him. They didn't make him pick up his dribble. As a coach, a former coach, that would have been the first thing I would have said is we want to make LeBron James pick up his dribble. Yeah. He will not beat us. And they allowed him to dribble and shoot a running fade.
That was a tough shot.
A very tough shot, but you can't let LeBron James shoot that shot. Make Larry Nance, make one of those ding-dongs on that team shoot the ball. Everyone besides LeBron James, you don't let your best player beat you on the court. And that's exactly what Toronto did. And I think that's why Toronto is always looking in the rear view at LeBron James, because he has killed them every single time. They don't have what it takes to beat them because they're scared.
You know, in the start of the playoffs, again, Toronto is the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, but I was never sold on them. And again, I didn't know, maybe I was selling them short because we're in Southern California. The weather is great. It's always like at least 75 degrees. We got the Dodgers. We got the Angels. The Lakers were popular. I just felt like nobody's talking about the Raptors. We don't know anything about Toronto. Maybe they are that good. Maybe we just don't follow them closely enough because, you know, we're hanging out at Disneyland and surfing and watching the Dodgers all the time. Maybe they are that good. But I was never sold on them, and now it's just reaffirming what I had already thought, that they're not the number 1 team in the East. It's still LeBron's conference. Boston's on the rise, but they're banged up, and Philly's going to be there very, very soon. I thought maybe it would be this year. I thought Philly would make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think it'll be Philly and Boston next year. What about the Miami Heat?
Yeah, Miami Heat is done, buddy. It's good to go visit there if you're a pro going to play the Miami Heat, because you know you're going to have a good nightlife, but they're a few years removed unless Pat Riley does something giant. Maybe gets, you know, Kawhi Leonard's been often mentioned of going
with the Miami Heat.
Yeah, with the Miami Heat. If that happens, that changes the entire landscape. But I will say this about Toronto. Toronto did something, and it has done something the last few years. They've won a lot of games in the regular season. The reason that is because nobody got hurt. They seem to play the entire season without getting hurt. So they kind of got in that groove, that regular season groove of winning games, but they're not built for the playoffs. When you have 2 guards, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan are your only 2 superstars, and if any of them play bad, you're going to get beat.
Yeah.
Because they have 1 superstar, and they're a good team. I'm not going to take anything away from them. They're just not built for the playoffs, and I think you might have to blow up the team after this series.
Yeah, it's going to be, well, it looks like it's going to be Cleveland and Boston as early as tonight. Greg wore his Celtic green to celebrate the Celtics moving on. I know. Greg Hollow's a Laker fan.
Of course he is.
He hates the Celtics. Hub City. Golden State out west, they're up 3-1 on New Orleans. The Rockets are up 3-1 on the Utah Jazz. Like the East, I think the West is a foregone conclusion as well. It's going to be Warriors and Rockets in the Western Conference Finals. They'll have their Game 5s on Tuesday night. The Warriors will be at home in Oakland. Houston will be at home. So, I don't know. It looks like Warriors versus Rockets in the West.
Yes.
Celtics versus LeBron and the Cavs in the East.
That is...
Thank you. Yeah, it's versus LeBron. No, it's not.
It's just LeBron. But, yeah, I think Golden State's really still the far superior team until somebody beats them. They've won 2 out of 3 in the last championships. They're on a chance to win 3 out of 4 to become an official dynasty. I say anytime you get 3 wins in a decade, you're a dynasty, especially if it's within 3 years or 4 years. I think Houston has a chance if they shoot well for, they've got to shoot well for 4 games. And I don't know if they can do that as a collective. I think we've seen Golden State as a collective. They've had 4 guys, 5 guys that can shoot very well for 7, 8 games in a row. I just don't know if Houston is built to do that for a long 7-game series.
If there's a team out there that could knock off Golden State, I think it's Houston. Of all the teams that are left,
yes,
Houston might be that one team, but still, I'm still going with Golden State. They're the defending champs. I know people are going to be like, oh, man, Golden State against LeBron again. But I'd be down. Would you rather see Golden State against Boston and Boston's missing their top 2 superstars? I'd rather see LeBron try to single-handedly beat Golden State.
Well, see, I'm not a LeBron James fan.
I'm not either, but I'd like to see it.
Anytime he can lose, I want him out as soon as possible. I also have a double reasons to
double reasons?
Yeah, because, Golden State's my second favorite team.
Well, right. The Jazz, man. The Jazz were hanging on.
Oh, yeah, they're third.
Well, that was last week.
That was last week. That was so last week. The Yankees are my new favorite team this week. I'll tell you about them later.
Yankees.
The Yankees. No,
Jeez.
Golden State, though. I will say this. I want Golden State to either, if you beat LeBron, that's great. But if you beat Boston, and I'm a Laker fan, there's nothing better than beating Boston. I don't care who beats them as long as they get beat. I don't want to see them hoist another banner in the Boston Garden.
You know what they'll say, though? Let's say LeBron wins tonight, moves on to the Eastern Conference Finals. They beat Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals to go to the NBA Finals. People are going to be like, well, yeah, you beat Boston, but they didn't have Hayward and Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be, like, that conversation that naturally we're going to have because Boston's not at full strength. If they were at full strength, they would be the number one team out east, I think, easily. I don't think it would even be close. But people are going to say, you know what? Yeah, he made it to the finals, but look who he had to beat. He didn't have to beat anybody on the road to get there.
I agree, but is there nothing better than a good Boston team and a good Laker team when they battled it out? I want Boston to be good again, and I want the Lakers to be good again. I just want to see these two juggernauts battle it out again. And it looks like the Boston has really come a lot quicker than the Lakers have, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Hey, I will. This is a serious question. Maybe Greg Holland knows. So I read several stories about the Golden State Warriors over the weekend. I watched a little bit of their game, and I read a bunch of the stories on them. So they started Andre Iguodala, which all throughout the regular season, he came off the bench, but it looks like they were just saving his legs, like trying to keep him fresh for the playoffs. So they actually started him for the first time with, I guess you'd call it the big four, right? Curry, Thompson, Durant, and Draymond Green. So it's Andre Iguodala with those four guys, and they were calling them the Hampton Five.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
Do you know that? Like, I've never heard that reference before.
I have not. Maybe because they're all millionaires.
They live in the Hamptons? I mean, maybe is it really that easy? They're all neighbors in the Hamptons? Like, I don't know. Like, I read several different stories.
I saw that too.
And they called them the Hampton Five, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, they're your second favorite team. So I know you're on the pulse of the Warriors, and I follow the Warriors pretty closely too. I've never heard the Hampton Five. So maybe one of our producers or show writers can look that up here in the break because I've never heard that, and maybe they all live on the same street in the Hamptons.
Okay.
Wait, do you have?
I do.
Let's save it.
Save it. I got it.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, the very latest on the Hampton Fives. Plus, we're going to talk a little golf. We never talk golf on the show.
Wait, there's golf? They're still playing golf?
They're still playing golf. They're out there right now. We got to talk a little bit of golf, and we will get to the bottom of this. The Hampton Five, whatever that means. We'll be back. It's your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Your mama sure does care about your schooling, son. You don't say much, do you?
IE 1350 AM, and this segment is brought to you by our dear friends over there, of course, at, what did we do last time? Catalana Motors. Catalana Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. You can buy, trade, and finance all in the same spot. Get that sweet new ride so you can look real cool driving around the IE. Trucks, minivans, sports cars, all the good stuff. Catalana Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. And be sure to ask for the special this week. Now, we're going to talk golf, and we will, Jeff. I promise you, we will talk golf. But we're going to get to it later in the show because we've got a very special surprise guest, a dear friend of yours.
He's a surprise? Tracy!
Yes.
Tracy Murray, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. Hey, you guys want to talk golf?
We do, but I only like to talk about Tiger Woods. That's the only time a golf is relevant to me. I also like Bubba Watson just because he makes me laugh. Other than that, though, these are all guys I've never heard of that are winning right now. Justin Thomas, he's the money leader at $5 million. Never heard of him.
Hey, Jeff, I know you're familiar with the last name Finau.
Yes.
Come on, we played against Big John Finau. He played for Pius 10 back in the day with Lamont Hollandquist. That's his nephew, Tony Finau, out there.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Nice. Well, how are you doing, Tracy Murray? How are things going with you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just enjoying the nice warm day, the sun today, on the way to the gym to train some kids.
Well, are you training? Is this for your AAU team?
Yes, we have a tournament in Phoenix this weekend, so we're getting the guys some extra work. Wednesday we'll have our last practice to try to tune them up. It's kind of hard getting them together when school is still in session, so we're trying to be mindful about that.
Now, Tracy, how do you do all of these things? You're an avid golfer. You are a man you're a TV guy. You are the voice of the Bruins, and you and your brother run a great travel ball. It's Prodigy, correct?
Yes.
How do you have the time of the day? You got little kids at home. You're a busy guy.
Yeah, I'm busy, but Prodigy is really Cameron. I just help out with that, and I just try to be around, especially when the kids are playing AAU or there's practice or there's a teaching moment. I try to be there to help Cameron out with that. UCLA, of course, it only goes until March. So I'm during basketball season, my wife and I are both busy because she's a college D1 official for the women's side. She's in all 6 conferences on the West Coast. So the basketball season is extremely busy for both of us. And then after the season's over, then that's when I start ABC 7, and I don't have a full schedule with them. I have a few shows. And that's fun too. And lately I've been doing a couple of Fox Sports co-host fill-ins. So I've been enjoying that too.
Well, Tracy, I know you're already super busy, but we should expect the Tracy Murray show at some point. Radio, TV, or everything.
Uh-oh. That would be great. That would be a lot of fun. It would be interesting, but it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, we definitely would love to have you come in studio and hang out with us. On anytime you can come in and talk basketball, talk golf, definitely you can talk golf. But what are your thoughts right now on this NBA playoffs? Is it a foregone conclusion that we're going to have Cleveland and Boston, and then we're going to have Golden State and the Rockets on the other side? Is it a foregone conclusion for those 4 teams?
Oh, yeah, mark it up. It's a wrap. I mean, I don't see any of the teams that are down right now that has enough fight to get back into it. It's just a different mentality nowadays. It's like you go down 3-1, and it's like, okay, pack your bag for Cancun.
Hey, Tracy, let me ask you this. I've got a theory, and I could be way off, but I feel like this might be the last time that we see LeBron James in the NBA Finals. I think with Philadelphia and Boston on the rise, if LeBron stays in Cleveland or if he ends up somewhere else, I feel like this might be the last year that we see LeBron in the NBA Finals. Does that sound crazy?
Well, he's going to struggle against Boston because Boston plays defense. And they're going to Brad Stevens is going to have a game plan. So, don't count him into the finals just yet. I mean, they're going to need more than Kevin Love to step up to get past Boston.
Now, is it with Boston? Do you see? I look at Boston as a well-coached team with a lot of moving parts that are integral and playing like a college team. You're without Kyrie Irving. You're without Gordon Hayward. You're without the superstars, but they seem to be playing really, really efficient, and they seem to be playing with a lot of confidence. We look on the other hand, we see Toronto. They seem to be scared of LeBron. They seem to not be playing with this confidence. Do you think that confidence that Boston, with the sum of Al Horford, Tatum, and the other guys, the other sum of guys, can they upset this Cleveland team?
I think they can, because they have a lot of parts, a lot of pieces on that team that are very good. Morris is a veteran. He's physical. He's going to take his time on LeBron. You're going to have Tatum is young, but he might have a little bit on LeBron too. That'll be a learning experience for him. But on the offensive side, this kid is a special kid. He can play the game. He can put the ball in the hole. Rozier is playing out of his mind right now, and that's got people wondering if they can move Kyrie Irving and get somebody else up in there. So they have a lot of really good points. Jaylen Brown's playing excellent, and he's a good defender as well. Smart. How do we forget about Marcus Smart? He's an excellent defender. When he got healthy and got back out there, they became a better defensive team. So Boston is something to worry about as far as Cleveland is concerned.
Well, Tracy, let's assume for a second that Golden State and Houston advance to the Western Conference Finals, and it looks like it will happen. Does Houston have a shot, like a real shot?
Yeah, they do have a shot. You know, that's going to be the shootout at the OK Corral. I'll tell you what, both of them shoot the three ball. It's going to be about 150 three-pointer shot every game. But they do have a legitimate shot. If guys can knock down shots, if Hart can continue to get in the paint and downhill and put pressure on the defense, if Capella can protect the rim, they have a legitimate shot. The last game with Golden State against the Pelicans, that's the first time I saw those guys move the way they did in the championship series in the years that they won. They were passing the ball. They were cutting extremely hard to the basket. The ball was moving. Guys were cutting. That's the first time I've seen that all playoffs.
Well, Tracy, I know you got to run, but I want to sneak in a quick Kawhi Leonard question for you, because this is a subject that we talk about a lot, and we tread very delicately because he played high school here in Riverside, and we love Kawhi Leonard, but it just seems like a really messy situation. So do you see him going back to San Antonio, or do you think the Spurs will try to package something up together and trade him in his last year of his contract here with San Antonio?
You know what? I love Kawhi, too, and I think he's a special player. I like his disposition as a player, where he just doesn't say much and he let his game do the talking. I think the people representing him, I don't think they're doing a good job of communicating. I think if he didn't want to be in San Antonio, then don't do what LeBron James did and have people hate him, where you just leave after your free agent season and don't get anything for you. I think that's what Cleveland was most upset for, because they went right to the toilet after he left, because he took his talents to South Beach and didn't allow them to package him up to Miami, still get his money, and then get something for him. So I think that's the situation that's going on, and San Antonio's afraid they're going to lose him and not get anything for him. So I think whoever's representing them or how they're handling it, there's got to be more communication with the Spurs, because they're a class organization. They have a great coach. They have a team full of veterans, and they're all about team. So being in that fold, I think they owe them the communication to know what the plan is.
Well, Tracy, we know you're very busy. You're always on the move. We appreciate you taking a couple minutes to talk with us, and we got to get you in the studio soon, very quickly.
Hey, I'm ready for it. Just let me know when.
Tomorrow.
Well, Jeff's already plotting the Tracy Murray show over here.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Pep and I were talking before the show. We were like, hey, we need to get Tracy, and we need to bookend these shows, because I'll tell you what, it would be a formidable. Yeah, it would be a formidable duo, as we could bookend some good radio here.
You know what? That would be a pleasure, and I would love to do it.
All right, well, it's a done deal.
It's done. We're gonna.
Jeff gets a cut though.
I'm gonna have Fox Sports drop a couple of contracts for you, and we'll have you in tomorrow. Actually, we'll get you a show.
You know what? I can't be in tomorrow or Wednesday.
Darn it! You're fired.
I got funerals on that day I have to go to. But other than that, just let me know.
We'll get you in early next week then, or if possible, whenever your time. I know you're busy, but it's always good to hear from you, my friend, and good luck. Give my best to your family.
Thanks for having me, and best to your family too, Jeff.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you.
All right, that's basketball great Tracy Murray here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. What a special treat. We didn't see that coming. He was texting you and said, hey, can we just get you on the air for a couple minutes? Because we see him on ABC 7. We see him on Fox Sports West. He's all over the radio. He does UCLA. He's a big-time star, but he's like your first emergency contact on your cell phone. That's how close you guys are.
He's my guy, and I'll tell you this, and I go ahead, Greg.
I got a great comp set.
Uh-oh.
Sports Show After Dark.
There you
With
go.
Tracy Murray.
Tracy Murray's the
he can hold it down.
He has to have a smoking jacket on.
I'll tell you what. Of all the guys, I've played with some great players. I played with Tracy Murray, Reggie Miller, Don McClain. He is I will say this, Tracy Murray's the best pure shooter I've ever seen. And
Better than Jeff Gorham?
Oh, yeah. If I could jump higher than Tracy. He can shoot better than me. That's my guy, though. I love him dearly.
All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show. We're going to take you out to the County Clash. It was a big weekend of high school baseball. We'll be back. It's your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
What have I to fear? The Avengers. That's what we call ourselves. Sort of like a team. Earth's mightiest heroes type thing.
Yes, I've met them.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
So you talk to the radio?
On Fox Sports.
thing we do every night and twice on Wednesdays. Try to take over the world.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
We're back on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We thank you for joining us here on a Monday, kickstarting your week. A lot of good stuff to get to. And it's all brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change. You'll be spoiled by great customer service and low prices. So the next time you need an oil change every 3,000 or 5,000 miles, hop in there. Spoiled. You will not be disappointed, I guarantee. You rocking out, Jeff? You feeling good? Like you said, you had a long weekend. You were going on all the water slides. You were tired.
Dude, I caught ringworm, pink eye, and infantigo.
Oh, man.
I can't feel any better than I do right now.
And I happen to pick the day to sit right next to you. Usually we're on the opposite sides of the studio because we got a really big studio here at Fox Sports Radio. But today I decided to sit right next to you.
Hey,
Are you contagious?
No, but I could lick your face like that hockey guy did. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did, yes.
You know, I'm gonna voice my opinion on this.
Voice it.
If somebody licked me, I would punch him in the neck as hard as I could. It's like if somebody spits at you in the street. Did you know this? If somebody goes over and spits in your face, that is an assault.
Is it?
Yeah, they get arrested. So if you...
Craig's
Pep,
like, yep, I know.
You are close enough to me, Pep, that I could lick you on the cheek.
And I could turn you in.
You could turn me in.
Yeah.
But I'd have to spit on you. I don't know if the licking... I would assume that licking would be the same
It
rules.
both involves saliva.
Yeah.
I'll let them know that you bit them.
I would say no. I just, I'll tell you what. If I lick you, I could get you contagious. Maybe I'll give you a pink eye.
No.
Both my eyes are bloodshot red, pink. When I wake up, they're all stuck together. It's from the darn water slides. I just feel filthy and dirty.
And you scratched up all your legs and your knees and your elbows and all your bones.
I have scabs on me. I have scabs. I haven't
You're all
had scabs
messed
since I was a
up.
little kid.
Performing like Shamu in the water?
Oh, man.
Jeff put on a show.
No, well, here's the deal. You know the lazy river? Not very lazy.
It's
not lazy at all.
It's supposed to be.
No, it was Rapids, Grand Rapids Central, and there weren't enough tubes, so I was just floating on my back,
skidboarding,
like a manatee. But see, every time I'd flip over on the side, my knees would drag on the ground.
Because you're big.
I'm a large man.
So if you go down to like 7.5 feet, your head's still up. Like you still have tippy toes on.
I'm still tippy toes.
Okay.
Still tippy toes. I will say this though, I was telling Pep there was somebody famous there. Somebody really
Maybe
famous.
Greg Hollow would know.
She had to be an IG model or something. There was a girl. She was a lovely lady. She was wearing a one-piece bathing suit and a baseball cap.
You said like a Baywatch suit,
like a
right?
Baywatch suit.
And a baseball hat.
Yeah, she was built like a Baywatch girl too.
But everyone was taking pictures, right?
Everybody
Did you do it?
No, I was too scared. No, but she was smoking hot.
But did you want to say, who are you?
I almost did. Connor was going to. I almost sent my 12-year-old, hey, go ask her what her name is.
You know what you could do? You could probably get on social media and search like, what was it called? Great Wolf?
Great Wolf.
Maybe something would pop up. Someone like,
a lot
tag
would have
this
popped up. She
famous
was
person.
good looking, man. Dynamite. I was going to say, hey, Connor, go over and ask her.
Who are
name.
you?
What's your name? But no, he was kind of a wimp. My son, the wimp. I, of course, would have, she was giving me the big eyes. She was the whole time, Pep.
She was?
Yeah, because I had,
I
had my shirt off.
She was probably like, get that creepy guy away.
No way, man. She was eyeballing me.
She was?
She was. And then she saw my wife standing next to me. Then she backed up real fast because Smetty Smed was ready to hurt her. Lay the straight whoop.
Oh, Smetty Smed.
Straight whooping on her. But yeah, she was eyeballing me, Pep. I still got it.
He still got it.
I still got it, baby.
Germs and all.
Germs and all.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. It was a big Saturday at the County Clash, and the headliner, the main event, the one that everyone stayed around for, and they had to stay around a long time. It went 4 hours. It went 12 innings. I mean, the fireworks were popping off at the National Orange Show Citrus Fair. 12 innings later, and Corona stays in first place in the Big 8 League baseball standings with a 9-8 win against King. It was a game for the ages. It was for first place. King, loaded with talent. Corona, they made it to the CIF Southern Section Division I championship game last year at Dodger Stadium as Corona holds on. So what does this all mean? It means Corona will take on Santiago twice this week. The Panthers are 1 game up on the Sharks as we head into this, the final week of the regular season. We had a chance to catch up with Corona head coach Andy Wise right after the big win against King. Here is Coach Wise.
I hate to say it. It almost reminds me of the playoff game 2014-15 with Arlington. 17 innings we lost at Arlington. First round of the playoffs, we lost 1-0. So that game, there was a good 6 innings or so where there was no run scored. And it reminded me a lot of that where you're just pressing and can't muscle that run across, but we did, and it's big.
Final week of the regular season coming up, and it's a huge one for you guys, right? Talk about the importance of this one.
Oh, extremely, because like I said, Pep, our number one goal is always to win league. It's a great league. We won it last year. Going in, we kind of felt like we were the underdogs this year. You know, we had a bunch of new guys and some young kids, and we thought if we could pull it off this year, that would mean a lot for the group, the program, the whole nine. And
Baseball coach at Corona High School. We love Andy Wise. We also love the official skipper of Riverside, Steve Madrill. Both good guys. That was one of those games that you were going to feel bad for whoever lost. It was such a great battle. So many momentum swings going back and forth. In fact, Corona, in the bottom of the ninth, because in high school they only play 7 innings, so we're already in extra innings. In the bottom of the ninth, Corona had the bases loaded, nobody out, and King still wiggled out of that jam. It was unbelievable. So now Corona, again, made it to Dodger Stadium last year for that championship game. They are in first place in the land of the Big 8. 2 games head-to-head with Santiago this week to determine the league champion. That was a huge game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have stayed for 4 hours, though.
Dude, when I talked to Coach Wise after the game, he's like, what do you think of that? I'm like, Coach, I'll be honest with you, because I'm real tight with Andy Wise. I'm like, listen, I'll be honest with you. I got a headache. I'm starving. I'm thirsty. They shut the snack bar down in the 5th inning.
What?
We went 12 innings, all right?
That's
weak. I'm like, I want to get out of here. And he's like, me too. He's like, I'm starving, dude. He's like, I'm done. He's like, I'm zapped. I got to get out of here too. So it was one of those games. Listen, did I want to be there all night long? No. But somebody had to win. It was a great game, and now Corona's in first place. The game right before it was another good one is Centennial keeping their playoff hopes alive. They beat Norco by a score of 3-1. So George Wise, no relation to Andy Wise, who's the head coach at Centennial.
Very confusing.
It is. But the big Santiago, they beat Roosevelt 3-2. Santiago had to have that win to set up this showdown with Corona here in the final week. So if Corona can win, I believe I think it's a Wednesday-Friday series. So if Corona wins the first one, it's over. They're the outright Big 8 champs. If Santiago wins,
and it comes down to 1 game.
Yes, they'll be tied. It'll come down to the final game of the season. Unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a tough league. And coming into the season, Santiago was ranked nationally.
Yes.
They were playing in the national championship. And now they're playing just to survive and win a league championship. That tells you how tough the league is.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like, even like Centennial and Roosevelt and Norco, who is in the bottom half of the standings, because right now it goes Corona, Santiago, King, and then we've got Roosevelt, Norco, and Centennial. All 3 of those bottom half teams are really good, and they can pick off one of the top half teams like that. I mean, that's how tight the Big 8 league is. It's unfortunate they're all not going to make the playoffs, but that's how you put Centennial or Roosevelt in any other league, they're going to be playing for a league title. Doesn't matter what it. I mean, Citrus Belt, Sunkist, Southwestern, you name it. You take Centennial or Roosevelt and you put it in one of those other leagues, and they're going to be in the hunt for that league championship. That's how competitive the Big 8 league is. All right, we also have our Marines Recruiting Station Riverside Athlete of the Week to get to. And usually by about Friday of the week, definitely by Saturday, we start thinking about our Athlete of the Week. And I'm like, man, who's it going to be? This week, we've had some no-brainers. But this week was an absolute no-brainer. When I saw this come my way, I was like, man, this is unbelievable. Because if you guys remember track and field, if you're a track and field fan out there, the great Michael Norman out of Vista Marietta High School. This guy went to the Olympic trials. He's going to be an Olympian. He's at USC right now. He's been the only Gatorade National Track and Field Athlete of the Year 2 years running.
Twice?
He did it twice back-to-back. Michael Norman of Vista Marietta, the 400, the 800. This guy's listen, and we've had some great track and field athletes go through the IE.
A lot of Olympians. And Michael Norman will be an Olympian someday, but he might be the most
accomplished at his age at this point, simply by those Gatorade Awards, the state championships, all those sorts of things. So when I saw this, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this guy has to be the Marines Recruiting Station Riverside Athlete of the Week. Of course, we are talking about Yucaipa sprinter Asani Hampton. In the 100 meters at Yucaipa High School in the CBL meet, he clocked a time of 10.26. That is just 1/100th of a second behind the 33-year-old state record. It's the second fastest time in the United States right now, and it set a new San Bernardino County record and a new inland area record. Unbelievable. In fact, Michael Norman's time from Vista Murrieta in the 100 was 10.27. So Asani Hampton even beat Michael Norman. So this guy is blazing fast, straight out of Yucktown. He's going to be the favorite to win the CIF state championship in the 100 meters, which the 100 meters, that's like, like at the Olympics, they say that's the world's fastest man.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt of the world, right?
The Carl Lewis.
Yes.
The Jeff Gorman 33 years ago, and that broke the
Still very
record.
Flexible from what I hear.
Very. I'm gonna show you.
Full of germs, but very flexible.
Germy.
Very germy and flexible.
And very crafty and fast.
But I mean, the 100 meters in the state of California, which we got the fastest guys around. I'm just being a homer over here, but we've got the fastest guys around in the state of California, and there's nobody faster in this great Golden State than Yucaipa High School's Asani Hampton. 100 meters, 10.26, second fastest time in the red, white, and blue this year, and only 100th behind the all-time state record, which has lasted 33 years. So unbelievable. Again, when I said no-brainer for the Marines Recruiting Station Riverside Athlete of the Week Award, I meant it, no-brainer. And a big thanks to our good friend Pete Marshall. He's a local freelance reporter, hooked us up with the actual video when he clocked this time at Yucaipa High School late last week. Make sure you follow Pete Marshall on Twitter. Very good guy all around, checking out some of the local sporting events. And he got video of it. So I was very jealous because we're in the business of video. And I was like, oh, man, Pete. My guy Pete got video of it. So I hit him up. He said, yeah, use it. So thank you, Pete. We do appreciate that.
I love you, Pete Marshall.
Yes, you do.
I love you.
Forgetting Pete Marshall. Isn't that? Oh, no. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Wasn't that a movie?
Yes. But I love Pete more.
When we come back, we've got to get to the PGA golf. I promise golf. We're going to talk golf.
Tiger Woods.
This might be the segment. It has something to do with Tiger Woods in a roundabout way.
Come on.
But it also has something to do with Santiago, Tiger Woods. We also got to get back to Clayton Kershaw because the Dodgers are a mess. We'll be back. It's your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show, and it's brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods. More than 40 years in the Inland Empire, bringing you all of your sporting gear needs, team sales, and Letterman's jackets. It's the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. How is everyone doing out there today on a Monday? We appreciate you joining us here. And this segment's brought to you by our friends at Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass down there in Corona. But they'll train you up anywhere in the Inland Empire. It really doesn't matter. Lacrosse, football, golf, track and field, they do it all from youth, high school, college, trying to go to the pros. They do that too. They've got a strength and speed class, and that first one is always absolutely free. But you got to mention Jeff Gorham at the door. That's Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Jeff, you want to talk Infinity War real quick?
Yeah, no? I just want to say first of all, I want to say Huey Lewis in the news. Fantastic. I'm a little bummed, though. You know why? They canceled their tour for the summer.
They did?
Yeah, Huey's having a little throat issues. So they're canceling their tour. I was hoping to show up and watch some Huey Lewis in the news. But I wanted to talk about, is it Thanos or Thanos?
Thanos.
Is it Thanos?
Thanos.
Okay.
Potato. Thanos.
Hey, after seeing that movie, is he not the best thing next to Darth Vader we've ever seen in a movie?
Yeah, because, we were talking about this because we're nerds. Darth Vader is like the only lovable bad guy I can think of. Think about all the bad guys in the other hit movies.
Nobody just hate him.
Nobody likes the bad guy. But Darth Vader, Hala loves Darth Vader. Jeremy Flexible Jeff loves Darth Vader.
More than almost life itself.
I love Darth Vader. Like, everyone loves Darth Vader. But I came out of Infinity War. He did. And you know what? And he got into that huge mess for love. He did it for love.
For love. Don't we always do it for love?
It's always for love.
There you go. But I will say this. I'm a huge Star Wars fanatic. And there's a presence that comes on when Darth Vader comes on.
Yes.
Remember, we saw that movie, was it Rogue One? And I called you right afterwards. And I said, the best part is the last 2 minutes of the movie.
Oh, unbelievable. One of my favorite Star Wars scenes of all time. And, of course, this is not a spoiler alert because Rogue One's old. It's old now. Yeah. Darth Vader was mowing fools down.
I got a grievance with you two.
Uh-oh.
Okay, when the last Star Wars came out, 2 weeks went by and he didn't say zip.
Yeah.
This Avengers comes out, not even a day, and you already spilled what happened.
Okay, here's the deal, Hala.
I'm just
because
it made $1 billion in a day.
It made like $1 billion in a day. So I think have you seen it yet?
No.
Oh! Okay, Hala might be the only guy in all of Hub City that has not seen Infinity War.
I'm going to take him after the show
tonight. You don't have Quakes tonight.
No. Someone told me I have to see was it Black Panther?
Now you don't.
No, you don't.
Before I got to see that.
But you know what? Do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
Have you seen Civil War?
No.
It's Captain America against Iron Man.
I work.
Great.
Come on, guys.
Listen, Mike Lenskog gave you the night off. Okay. You can go home.
Thank you, Mike.
Listen, watch Civil War, eat a pizza, and then you can think about what happened before you see Infinity War.
You can sleep in all day.
You can sleep
until
in
tomorrow. So go see the movie tonight. Go pick up some lady. It's go pick up a ratchet in San Bernardino and
it's not a romantic movie. Almost everybody dies.
It's not.
No, but I will say this though. When Thanos makes every time he is on the screen, he's mesmerizing.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's got a chin though that looks like Yeezys, like the shoes. I was looking at his chin. I go, what's going on there?
$400 Yeezys.
$400 Yeezys jammed on his chin. But man, what a fantastic movie.
He's a great villain.
He is. But I think, and I do believe, there is a redemption in him. I think we're going to see redemption in him in the next movie.
You think he's going to feel bad for what he did?
I think he already feels bad. Remember, what he did was terrible. He shed a tear. Real bad guys don't shed a tear. He shed a tear. And the very end of the movie, I'm just going to say this. It's not spoiling. He sits there and he looks out into the world or the vast. I don't know if he's happy.
He's happy. He's satisfied. He's content.
I don't think he is.
I think he is.
I think
he did it.
I think he's going to redeem himself in the next movie, and we're going to see Thanos, whatever. He's going to be a different big-headed creature. Is he purple or blue?
He's purple.
He's purple?
Because Jeff's colorblind.
He's really purple?
He's purple. He's like a light purple.
He's like a grimace?
Yes, that's why you called him. Remember one of the... Oh, sorry, Greg. Greg hasn't seen it yet.
Go ahead.
One of the guys calls him Grimace.
They do?
Was it Star-Lord?
Oh,
you didn't see that part?
Yeah, I was too busy crying.
Oh, my gosh.
I cried a lot.
Did you cry through the whole thing?
Oh, I cried.
Oh, man.
Hey, did you hear what Groot's last words were? Do you know?
I am Groot?
No. What? Well, it was that. I mean, yes, it says it. But his last words were...
If you translate it from Groot.
You want to hear it? It's all out there.
No, I don't know what it is.
Dad.
To who?
To the little...
Rocket?
To the rabbit.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Good job, Rabbit.
So, that's what he says to Rocket. He says, Dad. That's his, how sad is that? Aren't we going to cry now?
Okay, so wait.
Yeah.
So Groot survived the first...
No, he got killed too in the first one.
Well, kind of.
Kind of. Remember, he was a sapling.
He was a
sapling.
Yeah, a little nub.
He lived in a
So he didn't
pot.
survive again? He couldn't survive. I mean, he regenerated.
Holla, you don't survive this, Holla.
Then no one survives Thanos.
No.
Or Thanos.
Thanos is like the LeBron James.
Yeah, he's just unbeatable.
Of Marvel. He's unbeatable. Unbeatable. At the buzzer. I mean, like, shot clock winding down, tie game, and Thanos just goes...
Flick of the finger.
Look at the fingers.
Like the Kobe Bryant of the universe.
Yeah, he's the LeBron James.
No, stop.
I'd say LeBron, but LeBron James.
Yeah. As soon as he flicks his fingers and he's got those stones.
It's game over.
Hey, he's got some stones, man. I'm telling you.
It's LeBron.
Oh, he got some stones.
You know what? He has 6 stones. Michael Jordan's the only one that has 6 rings.
6 stones.
So the greatest of all time.
But I'll say
MJ.
this. Stop it. Kobe Bryant had to fight everybody by himself. Yeah, he did. He fought by himself.
Who did?
Kobe Bryant.
See, LeBron James has to fight by himself.
Yeah, but he's not going to win. See, the thing is that Kobe won.
Well, if LeBron James has to fight by himself and goes all the way, LeBron James is the Thanos of the NBA.
Yeah, but he doesn't win.
But he's going to.
He's not going to win this year.
If he goes all the way by himself, because again,
if he does win it,
we've already spoiled the movie.
If he wins, then he is Thanos.
Yes, because Thanos, again, we're not spoiling anything. Thanos beat everybody. He did everyone. He did not need anybody's help. LeBron James is getting nobody's help.
No.
It's like he has the gauntlet on his hands, and he's knocking down Pacers and Raptors, and the Celtics are next, and then somebody after
He's
that.
turning them almost into, like, ash.
You would say, right?
He is like he's like killing these guys into ash. All of them.
Sad.
The Toronto Raptors, ash.
You know what? If you get on social media, that's the last scene. Good job, Greg. If you get on social media, you can see, like, hints at the movie, and they're actually pretty funny. So if you've seen the movie, people are putting out these GIFs and memes and stuff, and they're actually really funny. Like, they're sports related, but going back to Infinity War. My favorite one is the Robert Ory hitting that basket against the Sacramento Kings, because I'm a huge Kings fan. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Greg, Greg's watching the end of the movie right now. I know you're spoiling it, but you just got to watch it.
I just want to know how he's watching that.
See, Jeff, I thought it was over right there. And then he did one of those, Greg. Just like LeBron James, he snaps his fingers and it's all over.
I don't know how he can snap his fingers with that big
he's Thanos.
gauntlet.
He's Thanos.
It's a gauntlet.
He's Thanos.
Why doesn't he have 2? Even though he doesn't have he had 1 glove on.
Hey, Michael Jackson only had 1.
I agree. Hey, did you see
all the greats have one?
Did you see the picture I sent you?
Yes.
Did you see it?
That's what I said.
There's a picture of Michael Jackson wearing 1 glove with 6 stones. It
just
looks
like Thanos?
Exactly like Thanos.
Captain EO.
Captain EO.
Man, I haven't heard that in a long
On
time.
the break, I'm going to show you that Michael Jackson had the gauntlet before Thanos did.
Yes.
He did.
I believe it.
But I just want to know this. How come he didn't have another one? Just you should have had a pair of gloves made.
It doesn't look as good.
If I walk around with 1 glove on, it's really heavy. It's really going to bug me like crazy. I would have to have.
But he has all the power in one hand.
I just love him. But yet I love to hate him. I love to hate Thanos. We should go tonight, you and I, Greg. We'll take my kids. They can sit behind us. Just the baby will just throw a bottle back there and give him some jujubes. He can chew on jujubes. He has teeth now, so he can do that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Mike Lindskog gave you the night off. There's no quakes.
Do it. Go watch some Netflix.
Think about it, Greg.
Netflix and chill.
Do you have movies in Hub City, Colton? Around there?
Close.
In your hood?
I can get it.
Netflix and chill, whatever that means. I see T-shirts.
Yeah, but Jeff's right. If you go home, if you watch Civil War tonight, then you can get up early in the morning, go get the first showing of the day,
Yeah,
and
it's
go
like
see
$5.
Infinity War.
And some popcorn.
And you'll be so happy.
Yes, greatest.
You'll be the happiest guy.
You might come in crying, though. It took me a couple days to get over. Especially when I heard Groot's last words were Dad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, does that make you sad?
I'm getting choked up right now. Yeah, I am.
Everybody's sad.
That is
was
sad.
it more amazing that they put all these characters in one movie? Was that
Yes.
what made the movie? Like, you didn't believe that they can put all these people?
I think it was two things for me, and see if Jeff agrees. One is, all of these superheroes in one movie, and two, Thanos was just unbelievable. Like, I want that villain that's like unbeatable. Like Darth Vader, I felt like was never going to be beatable because it's almost like he had to turn.
Is it better than Superman 2?
Yes. Easy.
Yes.
Easy.
You remember Superman?
Yes. Superman 2 was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Superman 2 was General Zod.
Yes.
I want to feel like there's no hope. Like it's over. Like I want to feel like the good guys have no hope, and there was no hope.
See, the only thing that makes it you think about, they're going to be okay, is because they're making other movies. They can't just quit making them, because if they did, they just wiped out a good portion of their future. They kill everybody. You name it, they get crushed, killed, kaput.
But there's more heroes coming, right?
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, there is.
The hope? Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Captain
Ant-Man.
Marvel. Ant-Man. The Falcon.
The Wasp.
The Falcon, though, is really not a superhero. He shoots bows and arrows. He doesn't do anything. I could do that.
He flies around.
Are the X-Men in this?
No. But the X-Men could make an appearance because they were bought by Disney. So eventually the X-Men could make their way into the MCU.
Because that's real life stuff, right? Because the X-Men were not part of Marvel per se.
They're
right?
not part of the MCU until Disney bought them. Like Spider-Man wasn't a Disney character. He was a Sony character. Now he's Disney. And then the Hulk is still not a Disney character.
He's not?
No, he's allowed to be in movies, but they can't have a movie. They can't make another movie called The Hulk. He can't have his own movie.
Who is it? Sony?
Sony still owns the rights to the Hulk. The Hulk's a big deal.
I had no idea.
He's a real big deal, you know.
He's a real big deal.
He's a real big deal. But they got Fantastic Four, so we're actually going to get a good Fantastic Four movie made.
We are?
Yeah.
Man.
We got some big news going on here in the MCU. The Disney partners are friends.
So it's a good thing that Disney bought all these companies.
You are damn skippy.
Okay.
I love it. They kind of ruined Star Wars, and they better redeem themselves as soon as this month, or I'm out of Star Wars. I'm jumping on the MCU universe.
Did you hear that Solo, the new Solo movie? They had the pre-sale tickets, which I know, Jeff, you already got yours.
Yes, I did.
It's already doubled Black Panther.
It has?
Yes.
Well,
they said that they thought the bad taste in everyone's mouth from The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
People are going to be afraid to go back to the theater and see the new Star Wars, which would be Solo. I'm eager to get back because I don't want to remember The Last Jedi.
But you know what? Han Solo is such a lovable character.
Yeah.
That people want to know
his backstory.
Same as the movie before the last Star Wars. What was it called?
Rogue One.
Rogue One. That was a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you already knew what was going to happen. But you can't. It filled in the gaps.
Well, all I know is Ruin Johnson ruined The Last Jedi. Is that what it's? Yeah. That sounded pretty
Rian
good.
Johnson. Yeah.
Ruin Johnson.
I liked it.
Yeah, but I mean, blah.
I liked parts of it. I just hated the story. It was like,
I'm done. There better be some damn lightsabers in this Solo movie. There better be some Darth Vader possibly too.
Could be.
That'd be awesome.
Could be.
I want to see some Jabba the Hutt.
All right, so we just spent like 15 minutes on movies.
Okay.
Let's spend 1 minute on golf.
Okay.
We got to give golf a good 60 seconds here, okay?
Okay. Go. Okay, wait. Let me get my timer.
Okay, go ahead, time me. I'm going to make this fast.
Go.
All right, so we got a guy named Aaron Wise, and he went to Santiago. Then he went to the University of Oregon. Now he's on the PGA Tour. He almost won the Wells Fargo Championship yesterday. He finished 2 shots back of Jason Day. So Jason Day was at 12 under. Aaron Wise was at 10 under. Aaron Wise he's only 21 years old. He's still looking for his first PGA Tour victory. But if he would have won, and I still think he'll get a PGA win soon, he would become only the 3rd golfer ever to win an NCAA individual championship and a PGA Tour win before the age of 22. The only 2 guys who have done that, not named Aaron Wise, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson.
Wow.
Huge names in the world of golf, and Aaron Wise is right there ready to join them on that list. He did pocket nearly $700,000 for finishing second yesterday at the Wells Fargo Championship. So Aaron Wise from Santiago, congratulations. You are on the cusp of greatness.
Stop. Okay, that was your minute.
That was 60 seconds. I did
60
it.
seconds.
I
You're
did
done.
it. And we love Aaron Wise. We love golf.
We kind of like him. I don't love him. I like him.
I've interviewed him. He's a really good guy.
Is he lovable?
Yes, very lovable.
Good for him.
All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, let's talk a little football because I feel like we are talking about the Cleveland Browns all the time. I blame Baker Mayfield on that. We'll talk more Cleveland Brown football, and also the Green Bay Packers feel like they got the steal of the draft, and it has nothing to do with the player they drafted. It's wacky. We'll make sense of it when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
What do you mean the way I talk? What? It's just, you're just funny. It's the way you on the wall of my garage, carnal. I'm gonna put a little sign under it. It's gonna say, this bumper was pulled off by the bus of Salinas. ¿Verdad tú? Sí, like that. I mean, anything for Salinas.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
Hey, we're back on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. We love you guys out there in the IE. We appreciate you listening every single day from 3 to 6 p.m. This segment's brought to you by Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. You can buy, trade, and finance and ask for that weekly special. It's that easy. You're going to save thousands of dollars at Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. What's wrong with you, Jeff?
I was having a hamstring cramp.
Are you all right?
No, I have a hamstring cramp. I must bend over and touch my toes.
Is this like a real thing happening on the air?
Major cramps, man. I tell you, I've been working out.
You know, the other night...
Oh, I'm dying here.
And Tara, as my witness, I woke up the other morning flexing like this with my biceps.
Yes.
And I was flexing so hard. You know how you get like a foot cramp or like you're having like a hamstring cramp?
Hammy.
It was like in my biceps. I was flexing so hard in my sleep. I don't know what I was dreaming about. But I was like Thanos, like the strongest man in the world.
Oh, good for you. I'm
Are
dying.
you okay?
No, I can't sit down.
I thought you were Mr. Flexible.
I am flexible.
Like an hour ago. Greg, what did you say an hour ago? I'm really flexible. I can bend around. And
I'm bendy, and I'm telling you right now.
Is it your calf or your hamstring?
My hammy. I'm trying to push my toe forward to pull my hammy. I'm dying.
Walk around. Shouldn't you walk around?
No,
that's the best thing you can do.
No, it's going to cramp. Wait, hold on. Just keep talking.
You should drink some chocolate milk like
pickle
Thompson
juice. Pickle juice, mustard. We might have mustard in the kitchen because
looking at my ass.
we've got a really big kitchen full of stuff. Nobody's looking at your butt.
Okay, God, cramps. Oh, like man, really bad.
We're in here. We're talking Infinity War. I turn around.
I need a sub.
And Jeff's hobbling around like he just got kicked in the back of the leg.
Holy cow, I'm dying. Let's talk some sports, Pep.
You don't sound convincing.
I need a salt tablet.
I got to move the camera.
I need a salt tablet. Nope. Stop showing me. Stop.
All right, let's talk Cleveland Browns. You ready, Jeff?
Oh, God. Yes. Go ahead.
Here. You can stand up. We can move the microphone
If I lean over, I'm bent over perfectly.
You've got to stay in that position?
For right now.
You can't move.
For right now.
So if you stand upright, you're going to be
I'm gonna
back
cramp up
cramping
again.
up.
If I sit down, I'm going to cramp again. I got to relax.
Okay.
Gotta relax.
Okay, I know. I get them in my calf muscle once in a while. In fact, we went to Great Wolf the last time.
Yeah.
You know the slide where you go head first?
Oh, I hate that.
You have like a little mat and you go head first?
Yeah, I hated that.
You didn't like it?
Nah, my feet were dragging.
Oh, I loved
really
it.
long.
But when I curl my feet that way, they cramp up for some reason. So as I'm going down, my feet were cramping up. So I feel your pain.
My hammy, right next to my gluteus maximus. Right up to my right cheek.
I don't think I've ever had my hamstring cramp.
Are you kidding me? Because you're not fast. I'm very fast. I'm a sprinter.
I'm really fast.
I told you broke the record. My record almost got broke. 33 years. I held the fastest 100 time in the whole state of California.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that hurts. Okay, I'm better now.
I was a distance guy.
Yeah, I could tell.
I could run forever.
All right, here we go.
No, seriously, are you okay?
I'm better now, yes.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a lot better now there.
Okay. All right.
Sweating,
We just almost had an emergency here in the studio.
911.
Jeff Greg was going to do CPR on you.
You're going to have to palpate me like Jim Clover. He's going to the Hall of Fame. You think he can come over and give me a palpation?
Yes, on Jim Clover's way to the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame ceremony tonight. He can swing by
Come rub my hammy.
Yeah, rub your hammy.
Oh, moon's over my hammy. Pain.
All right, Cleveland Brown chatter. We are the home of the Cleveland Browns here in the Fox, in the IE here on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. All right, so here's the deal. So we have the NFL draft. The rookies report to their teams, right? They go through like a little mini camp, and they put the helmet on, some shells maybe, and they go through some drills and stuff, whatnot. So the Browns had their mini camp, and by all accounts, Baker Mayfield was awesome. Like, he really impressed the Cleveland Brown coaching staff. But their head coach, who is it, Hugh Jackson? Is it still Hugh Jackson? He's still the head coach, which is unbelievable.
They've got to let him coach until he gets a victory. It's been a long time.
That's got to be Baker Mayfield's brother. That guy looks just like him. You're looking at a picture, right, Jeff? That's got to be his girlfriend or wife and his brother?
I don't care, but there's a good-looking girl right next to him. I I didn't even see the guy next to him.
So Coach
there's a guy there.
Coach Jackson came out and said that as good as Baker Mayfield looked, and as the number one pick, they have high hopes for him, but Tyrod Taylor is still the entrenched number one quarterback on the Cleveland Browns. So I don't know. If I'm the Cleveland Browns and I've only won one game in the last 2 years, yes, I know Tyrod Taylor won quite a bit of, he had some wins with the Buffalo Bills. He did pretty good.
A whole lot more than one win.
Well, yeah, I mean more than the Cleveland Browns. But in the big scheme of things, man, if you've only won one game in the last 2 years, Tyrod Taylor's probably the safer bet. But why don't you just roll the dice? I mean, he's your number one overall pick. And if he looks good, go with it. Because remember when Jeff Fisher drafted Jared Goff? This is pre-Sean McVay, of course, right? Sean McVay is an offensive guru with the Rams. But when they drafted Jared Goff, everything that we had heard out of training camp and from Jeff Fisher was Jared Goff's not ready. He doesn't look ready. He's not going to be ready. We're going to go with Case Keenum. It'll give Jared Goff more time to develop. He's simply not ready to be a starter in the NFL. That was Jeff Fisher's assessment. Here with the Cleveland Browns, they're telling everyone, no, Baker Mayfield looks awesome. He looks great. He is so impressive here at this rookie minicamp. So if he looks good in, the normal training camp when we get to the end of July, why not run him out there? Tyrod Taylor's your safety net. If Baker Mayfield does not go well, Tyrod Taylor can be your safety net. Like, hey, you know what? This isn't really working. We've played you in a couple preseason games. You know what? We're going to backtrack just a little bit. We're going to put you as the backup. You still have Tyrod Taylor. He is the safety net. It's like going on the trapeze. You've got the net underneath you just in case if you fall off. Tyrod Taylor is that safety net. I'd rather have Baker Mayfield trying to cross the high wire and have Tyrod Taylor underneath as the safety net.
I agree with you to a point. I agree that, that they are 1-31 the last 2 years. There's no point or there's no loss in starting Baker Mayfield. My only question is how deep is that playbook that the Browns are going to run? If it's going to change, it's going to take some time to adjust to that playbook. We don't know what kind of pro student Baker Mayfield is. We know what kind of guy he was in college. He was a free reign. It was almost like playing street football. A lot like flag football in that sense. He was able to do a lot. We don't know what the Browns are going to ask of him. And if the Browns are asking him to do the similar style that he did in college, I don't see why you can't start him. But if it is a different playbook where he is playing under center more, maybe you got to work him into it. Maybe through preseason, minicamp, whatever it is. I think the smart bet is to start with Tyrod Taylor and then work in Mayfield slowly, because we don't want what happened to Carr with the Texans. We don't want him to go out and get absolutely murdered and ruin that. You want him to be confident. You want him to be able to be on his feet. You don't want him running for his dear life the entire time he starts. So maybe sit him out a little bit.
Well, see, okay, I'll jump on your side of the fence for a second, because you could make that argument. You don't want to stunt his growth or stunt his confidence. But if I'm the Browns, what have you got to lose? Are people going to pay big money to come see Baker Mayfield start the first couple of games of the season? Yeah, probably. Why don't you roll him out in the preseason, see what you got, and then again, Tyrod Taylor, he could be your safety net, because he's a proven starter. He can win games in the NFL. But you've only won one game in the last 2 years. Give the fan base something to cheer about, a reason to go back out to the dog pound and cheer on the Cleveland Browns. I say give him a chance. And again, Taylor's your safety net. If you go through fall training camp, if you go through a couple preseason games and he looks a little shaky, no harm, no foul. You run Tyrod Taylor out there for the season opener, and you just go from there.
I agree. I agree to a point, but I still think, though, we need to see if that offensive line can keep Baker Mayfield healthy, because he is your future. Why not throw out Tyrod Taylor out there early to see if the front line can hold up and keep him safe? If they can keep Tyrod Taylor safe, then I say you go with Baker Mayfield, maybe second or third game in.
And one other NFL-related note, this kind of goes back to the Browns, kind of back to Baker Mayfield as well. Green Bay Packers head coach Mike McCarthy has came out and said that his quarterback, and I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers, I'm talking about DeShone Kizer. Remember, they made a trade with the Cleveland Browns to bring in DeShone Kizer to Green Bay. Coach McCarthy says DeShone Kizer has the same potential, the same talent as Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen. He feels like he's in that same class because remember, DeShone Kizer came out early. DeShone Kizer could have been part of this quarterback class. He feels like he made the steal of the draft, which was not part of the draft because he made a trade with the Cleveland Browns, but he feels like he got a quarterback in DeShone Kizer that's just as good as those other guys. I don't completely agree, but that's what he feels like.
Well, Mike McCarthy does know a lot about quarterbacks.
He does know QBs.
But DeShone Kizer also thinks DeShone Kizer is the next Joe Namath. He thinks he's the next Joe Montana. He's always thought he was that guy. That's one good thing you can say about DeShone Kizer is he doesn't lack confidence, but that confidence won't translate to a starting position with the Packers until Aaron Rodgers.
And here's the other thing, too. Brett Hundley, the former UCLA quarterback, he's the backup right now to Aaron Rodgers. I like Brett Hundley. He's a great quarterback. He's a bona fide backup to Aaron Rodgers. So when they brought in DeShone Kizer, it kind of made me scratch my head a little bit. Again, if I had to pick between Brett Hundley and DeShone Kizer, I'm going Brett Hundley, unless DeShone Kizer does something in camp that just blows me away. I like Brett Hundley.
Yeah, Brett Hundley is a lot like a guy that played across the town at USC, Rodney Peete. Rodney Peete was one of those backup quarterbacks that played in the NFL for 13, 14 years.
Made a career out of it.
And I could see that Brett Hundley could do the same thing and CTEs and being healthy and having a good career.
All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show. The NBA playoffs are underway. In fact, one of the games probably already at least at halftime. Was it third quarter? Fourth quarter. We're going to get to that. It's LeBron and the Cavs a little bit later right now, but the Celtics and Philly already in the fourth quarter. We got live updates coming up next. It's your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
He doesn't have a fever, but he says his stomach hurts and he's seeing spots.
I'm fine.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We're brought to you by Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Check out the strength and speed class. That first class is always free, small group sessions. And you're going to get the most bang for that buck at Boost Performance Training. Whether you're football, lacrosse, golf, track, it doesn't matter. If you're an athlete, go check it out. Boost Performance Training, boosttrainingsystems.com. We got NBA playoff basketball going down right now. In fact, Philly and Boston, Jeff, they're in the fourth quarter right now. And the last time we looked, it was a blowout, but it's getting a little bit closer, like an accordion. It's coming back in. The gap was wide. Now we're coming back in a little bit.
A 12-point deficit, 88-76, 7:32 remaining in the fourth. Tatum, the phenomenal rookie, is leading with 17 points for the C's. And then, Marquise Morris?
See?
One of the brothers, Morris, has 17 as well. But Saric, Embiid, McConnell, and Simmons all in double figures for the 76ers.
All right, so the Sixers are up by, a dozen with 7.5 to play in the fourth quarter?
Plenty of time.
There's still plenty of time for Boston to battle back and take this series. Okay, let's just say Philly holds on. Philly holds on at home. Philly gets this win tonight in Game 4. Is there any scenario where Philly battles all the way back to win the next 4 in a row? Now, if they were a seasoned group, they've done this before, I'd say, well, there's a chance. They're seasoned. They've been around the block a time or two. But these guys are young guys. It's like their first real venture into the playoffs. I mean, they say sometimes there is a positive for kind of being naive to the situation. But I think when you get this deep in the playoffs, you have to rely on that experience of having gone through that process before. So even if if Philly wins tonight on their home floor, as much as I love Ben Simmons, I don't know if they can win 4 in a row against the Celtics.
Well, they're a young core of guys. We know the coach for Boston is a phenomenal coach, Brad Stevens, but we don't know if Philly can play 4 straight perfect games. If in order to beat the Celtics, you're going to have to play a perfect game because they are the sum of 5 guys combined to make a very good team. The 76ers have 2 guys you can really count on, Embiid and Simmons, and a lot of other role guys. So those 2 would have to play damn near perfect in order to beat the Celtics team and win the next 4.
All right, so it's still a 12-point game. Philadelphia leading Boston right now 90-78 with 6.5 minutes to go in Philadelphia. So that's the first game of tonight's old double dip in the Eastern Conference. So Boston, Philly up first. In fact, Jeff, they'll go final while we're still on the air. We'll have a final score. We'll be able to break this thing down and analyze it while we're still on the air here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE. So they're in the fourth quarter. And then in about 20 minutes, tipping off, it's going to be LeBron James, the Cavaliers, trying to knock out the top-seeded Toronto Raptors, Game 4 of that playoff series. I'd like to say the Raptors have a little bit of heart, have a little bit of self-pride to battle back and get one against LeBron James. But the way Saturday played out and that game winner, unbelievable. In fact, I was hanging out at the Holland Festival. Shout out to Doug Juritzma and all the fine folks at the Holland Festival that make that thing go. I got on Twitter and I'm like, why? LeBron James trends a lot, right? On social media. He's always trending. I'm like, everyone's talking about LeBron James. Got on there, saw the video, tough. Like the game winner was unbelievable, but when you actually look at the shot, that's a tough shot, Jeff. Almost like across his body and then off the glass, right? A runner.
It was a runner, a floater. The one thing as a coach, in those situations, you never want your best player, your best opposing player, to get the last shot. And I don't know what was going through the minds of the coaching staff of the Toronto Raptors, but they let the ball get inbounded to LeBron James. He dribbled 94 feet, shoots off one leg of fadeaway. The first thing I would have said is, one, we're going to deny him the ball. We're going to make someone else catch the inbound. We're not going to let LeBron even get a chance to make that 3.
Yes.
Make someone else beat you. Make Kevin Love. Make one of their other guys who hasn't done anything the entire postseason. Make someone else beat you. But they did the wrong thing. They showed fear, and LeBron bit, and he took it right at him.
Do you think, like, when Toronto had their huddle before that game-winning shot from LeBron, that was don't you think that was probably the message from the coach? Deny him the basketball. Whatever you do, LeBron cannot have the basketball in his hands, but LeBron, being LeBron, simply bigger, faster, stronger than everybody else, found a way to overcome that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that was the message, don't you think, in the huddle?
You would think, but a lot of coaches get brain farts. We saw, you watch the Philadelphia 76ers in their last game had a chance to win. Had several chances to win. They threw the ball away 3 times. They missed a shot at the end. Sometimes it's just a brain fart. Sometimes it's the coach. Other times it's the players. I don't know what was said, but it was too easy for LeBron James to get that shot off. And we saw it. I don't know if you watched this, but I'm angry at SportsCenter. I'm angry at ESPN for one thing.
Why are you so mad, Jeff?
Because they had a top 10 plays of the night. I don't know if you heard about this. Great games going on. You had Ohtani. You had Pujols. You had Mike Trout, you had the Dodgers story, and they go with the top 10 plays, and all top 10 plays were 10 different versions of LeBron James' game winner. There were so many other things going on. I thought it was lazy broadcasting, and I was angry, and I wanted to vent that out. Shame on you guys. There were 9 other good plays that were deserving to be on that list.
Shame on the producers, shame on the assignment desk, shame on the anchors, shame on everyone out there.
Yeah, I was mad. I was angry.
If J.R. Smith or Kevin Love or pick your favorite Cavalier, if they hit the game winner because you were able to double, triple team, whatever you had to do to prevent the ball from getting into the hands of LeBron James, I think I'd sleep a little bit easier knowing, you know what? That was the plan. Don't let LeBron get the basketball, because if he gets the basketball, it's game over. If another guy beats us, then, that's the, we roll the dice. That's, that's the plan, at least. Stop LeBron James. They couldn't even do that. So, they didn't execute because obviously LeBron got the basketball in his hands, and then LeBron hit it. I mean,
yeah, here's the thing. If you're an opposing coach and you look at the roster right now, the playoff roster of the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James is averaging nearly 35 points a game. It drops off quite a bit. Drops down to 14 points a game.
Who's the second leading scorer on the Cavaliers right now?
Kevin Love is averaging just under 14 points a game, and then it drops off again to 10 points, and then we have a bunch of single-digit guys.
So Kevin Love's at 14, Kyle Korver is at 10, and then it drops off. So Kevin Love, a double-double, I guess you're getting, right? 14 points, about 11 rebounds per game. So he's doing okay. I know we're not really talking about Kevin Love too much, but he's doing okay. So LeBron, 35 points and about 9 assists per game, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, if you are the Toronto Raptors, he has your number. They've won 28 of 29 meetings against the Toronto Raptors. And that just tells me they're scared of LeBron James. That's the brunt of it. They're scared of him, and he's in their head. If you get in their head, it's kind of like getting the yips. We've talked about guys getting the yips.
Yeah, in baseball.
In baseball.
Yeah.
Similar to basketball. If you look a guy in the eyes and you know he has your number, it's really, really tough to beat him, especially when you've won darn near 30 games in a row versus the Raptors.
Let's take one more peek at that score before we hit the break here between Philly and Boston. Game 4 tonight, the Celtics trying to close it out, go for the series sweep. It's now a 10-point game, 92-82. 76ers still on top with a better part of 4.5 minutes to play, about 4:40 to go in that game. So it's only 10 points. So Boston could battle back, but Philadelphia up by 10 on their home floor, trying to salvage Game 4 and extend this playoff series to a Game 5. When we come back, it's a huge night for local sports in the city of Riverside. Hashtag the Riv raised me. It's the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame ceremony tonight. In fact, we are going to stream it live on the Inland Sports Channel. Intern Cullen, you better be there. You better be at the convention center right now, Cullen.
Or you're fired.
We're not going to let you go to South Dakota or North Dakota.
Or wherever Dakota
you're going to. We're going to have to keep you here. No, we are going to stream it live. It's going to be on the Inland Sports Channel on YouTube live at 6 p.m., so we'll hope you'll join that. When we come back, we're going to talk about the inductees for this year and some really big names in this Hall of Fame class. We'll be back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
I got good news. We're extending arts and crafts time by 4 hours today.
My fingers hurt.
What's that?
My fingers hurt.
Oh, well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Anybody else's fingers hurt?
welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We're going to get you all set for the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. The class of 2018 going into the hall tonight. Big night of sports in the Riv. It's all brought to you by our good friends at Ken's Sporting Goods. More than 40 years in the Inland Empire, bringing you all of your sporting gear needs. Going hand in hand with the Hall of Fame. You know, so many great athletes here in the city of Riverside, and Ken's Sporting Goods has been there all along the way. Again, more than 4 decades of sporting gear, Letterman's jackets, embroidery, team sales. They do it all. We love you, Ken's Sporting Goods. Ken'sSportingGoods.com. They're also on Instagram and Twitter, so make sure you follow them as well. If you would like to advertise here on our show, maybe you're a local owner, manager of a company, hit us up. It's easy. Just send us an email at inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. That's inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. Ask us, what can we offer you? How can we help brand your business or company? Because we'd love to help.
Love to help.
Quick little peek at the NBA score, Jeff. I do not think Boston's coming back in this one.
Yeah, 98-86. Just over a minute to play in the fourth quarter as it looks like they're going to go back to Boston and play game number 5.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe. They're still up by a dozen. Yeah, so they're not coming back. Philly's going to get game 4 here against the Boston Celtics. We will see a game 5, but I still like Boston to advance. But we'll see. We'll see if Philadelphia can, I guess. I'm trying to think. I remember the Yankees coming back or Boston coming back on the Yankees winning 4 in a row. You don't see that very often in a playoff series, a team coming back from down 3-0, battling all the way back to advance.
No, it'd be very, very hard, especially with a young team. Young guys do young things. They make rookie mistakes. And there's nothing you can do as a coach but hope that they learn from these mistakes. And right now, they're still going to be sitting in a 3-1 hole with 3 games left. So I think Boston will somehow figure this thing out, wind it up, and Philly will just have to learn from these mistakes and build from the future.
Agreed. I think so. All right. So Cleveland and Toronto will be tipping off. In fact, probably any minute right now. So we'll bring you an update a little bit later in the show in that playoff game. The Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, the class of 2018. In fact, right now, Jeff, they are probably shuffling into the Riverside Convention Center. Everyone's got suits on. They look good. They smell good. All the Hall of Famers have their red jackets on, so you know exactly who they are. I don't have one. Do you have one?
I have a red jacket, but it's not
it's not a Hall of Fame jacket.
I just wear my red jacket all around.
So you know exactly who's who, but tonight it's going to be a very special evening. Some people who are very close to our show and some big names that people around Riverside and certainly the Inland Empire are going to recognize. Maybe at the top of the list because he was swimming not too long ago. It's Tyler Clary out of Riverside Poly winning 200, winning the gold in the 200 backstroke at the 2012 London Olympics. Tyler Clary, man, if you win a gold medal at the Olympics, you are at the top of your sport. And the Riverside Hall of Fame, they like to wait for you to conclude your career. And he's done. He's essentially done with swimming because now he's moved on to motorsport. So that's why Tyler Clary is now going in to the Hall of Fame, although seems like he was just swimming yesterday. He was a recent athlete here in the IE.
Well, one of the many Hall of Fame inductees out of Poly High School, Cheryl Miller, Reggie Miller, Arlo Guard, part of that people that have gone into the Hall of Fame out of the Riverside Poly High School. But Tyler Clary was a 3-time NCAA national champion out of the University of Michigan and an 11-time All-American in 3 years that set a slew of Big Ten championships. He was probably the most decorated swimmer in the 2012, I guess, 2010.
Yeah.
He was probably the most decorated NCAA swimmer in America.
You know, we've had some great swimmers come from out of the Inland Empire. And recently, since I've been around, remember Gabe Woodward?
Very good.
Awesome. Great swimmer. And then we had the young guy. Remember out of Redlands High School, Kyle Gournay?
I do.
He broke all the records. I don't know if he's still swimming. I kind of get the feeling he's not. But we've had some great swimmers, great young swimmers come from out of the IE. And Tyler Clary really headlines that list. When you win gold in the Olympics, it doesn't get any bigger than that.
There is possibly one more swimmer in Riverside history that might have eclipsed Tyler Cleary.
Bull Sippy?
Sippy Woodhead. Sippy Woodhead was a legend, a world champion time and time again, and started at such a young age and had a long career in swimming. Named a pool after her at the old University Middle School, which is now Bobby Bonds Park, Sippy Woodhead Pool.
All right, we also have another poly swimmer, Jerry Marchanteau. She swam at Auburn. She won a national title, 11-time All-American. So if you see the theme here, it's Riverside Poly's got a really good aquatics program. Swimming, water polo too. Like, they're really good in the water. So another Riverside Poly Bear going into the Hall of Fame tonight. Baseball now, Gary Lucas. He's going into the Hall of Fame tonight. Outside of the UC Riverside skipper Troy Percival and all-time Angels great, right? Gary Lucas has the second most career saves behind the great Troy Percival, 63 career saves, and he had a great major league career.
He played 8 years in the Major League Baseball, played for the San Diego Padres, Montreal Expos, and the California Angels. Had a pretty decent record. He also has the third most wins in Riverside County history as a pro player.
We've had some great baseball players come from out of Riverside, and Gary Lucas at the top of the list. Pretty cool that he was able to also play pretty close to home. I mean, a Riverside guy, and you play for the Padres and the Angels in your career. Like, not a lot of guys have that luxury that you're so close to family and friends. I mean, sure, he played for the Expos for a little bit, but he also played for the Padres and Angels, and that's close to home.
And I'll tell you what, and was kind of a legend. You know, I grew up in Riverside. We grew up in the same neighborhood. We played on the same Little League team.
You did?
We did. The Bankers. We both played on the Bankers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right. A lot of guys, a lot of bigwigs have played in the Magnolia Little League, and he was part of the Bankers organization. And, you know, growing up, we had always heard about Gary Lucas. He played on this team. A lot of good players. Aaron Moore, another guy that was a coach at Poly, played in the minor leagues. A lot of guys. Brad Pounders, Brooks Pounders' father, part of the Bankers. So a long tradition, and probably the most famous of all those guys, Gary Lucas.
The Bankers. It just makes me smile when you say, "Yeah, we played for the Bankers." I would love to see that.
What were some other names? I mean, there's the Bankers. What were other names?
It didn't matter. If you were on the Bankers, you were a part of the elite.
Yeah,
my friend.
That's the best of the best.
No, there was no. I want to say was there a Del Taco team? There might have been a Del Taco team. But yeah, no, the Bankers was the elite team. My brother was a lot better baseball player than I was. So I think I got on the Bankers just through osmosis because my brother was pretty good.
This is Gorham, man. Put him on the Bankers.
Played for the Bankers.
He's really good. Congrats to Gary Lucas. We'll see him tonight at the Hall of Fame ceremony. To volleyball, and a big-time star from Notre Dame High School, Mika Wagner, two-time All-American at USC, Team USA member for 3 years. She played professionally. You know, I feel like the IE is good at everything, and volleyball is another one of those sports. We've had some big names come through here, specifically here in Riverside. And Mika Wagner out of Notre Dame, one of the biggest, and finally celebrated tonight at the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. Also, our pre-70s athlete, he's a bodybuilder. This guy's going to be looking good tonight.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I was a little boy. We used to, ride our bikes up to Riverside City College, and we used to see this guy, Carl Marshall. And he'd walk around shirtless. He was always tan. He was always sweating and had all these bottles of water in his hand. And he'd be running the stairs of Wheelock Stadium. Then he'd run the stairs up by the tennis courts. And the guy was like, it seemed like he was about 70 back in the 1970s. The most in-shape, fit guy I've ever seen walking the streets of Riverside.
And I'm sure he's still looking good. We're going to see him tonight slipping on that red jacket at the Hall of Fame ceremony. This one, bittersweet. Charles Leathers, a longtime track and field coach. He won, 11 CIF titles, 3 state titles at JW North High School. And also he was, I believe was it Compton Dominguez? He was at another high school where he
Compton Centennial,
where he built them into a power. But Charles Leathers passed away actually not too long ago. So I know his family and friends, they're going to be in attendance tonight. They're honored to represent him. But again, bittersweet because, they wanted to have him there. So it's a tough situation because they're going to celebrate his life, but also overwhelmingly thankful and grateful that they could, celebrate the legacy of Charles Leathers, which, JW North for high school track and field. I mean, he built them into a dynasty. And, I know a lot of people are going to be piling out there tonight. I saw Debbie Guthrie from the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame, and she said that, Charles Leathers has a lot of family that's going to be there tonight. So it's like a celebration of life, but also honor his legacy as a coach as well.
Well, the tough thing is, it is sad that he's no longer with us, but he is going to get a lot of love. Not only tonight does he get inducted into the Riverside Hall of Fame, but tomorrow night he gets inducted in the John W. North Hall of Fame. And he's going to have Joanna Hayes represent him tomorrow night at John W. North.
And last but certainly not least, he's a friend of the program. He might have the most fans in attendance tonight. He's going to sell that place out. It's the great Jim Clover, longtime athletic trainer. Everybody knows. If you play sports in Riverside, or the Inland Empire for that matter, the whole place, the whole IE, the 951, the 909, everybody has a Jim Clover story.
Hey, he has touched everybody, including me. He has palpated every inch of this body, Pep, and he's what kept me so perfectly fit. Now, Jim Clover's the greatest. Everybody in Riverside, every athlete has made their way to the sport clinic, and he has done wonders for everyone. He's raised money for the community, scholarships over $170,000 over his time with the sport clinic, and has just been a stalwart here locally.
Yeah, not only obviously, patrolling the sidelines and getting up early on Saturday mornings, when like the football players come in from, getting banged up the night before. Everyone knows Jim Clover. Everyone loves Jim Clover. And then on top of it, I mean, the Inland Empire All-Star Football Classic, 33 years running. Dr. Jerome Wall, obviously instrumental in getting that thing going. Dr. Wall passed away a couple of years back, and Jim Clover spearheaded the effort to keep this thing going, the longest-running high school football all-star game in the state of California, and Jim Clover is the reason why.
Yeah, and Jim Clover's, his children were born here. He spent many years, opening up doors for so many athletes, so many people that have studied through him. California Baptist University has him in their Hall of Fame. UC Riverside, he mentors those guys. He mentors Tony Ontiveros as well. So he has his hands in every single part, every school, every college, every university.
I think he teaches at Cal State San Bernardino too, doesn't he?
He is also a teacher, an instructor.
He's all over the place.
Teaches 3-4 days a week over at Cal State San Bernardino.
And he rides his bike everywhere.
Yeah,
he does. That's a true story.
He's a maniac. The only downside about our guy Jim Clover is he's a Ohio State loyalist.
That's also true.
And
that's also very true.
I'm not a big Ohio State guy.
He loves the Buckeyes.
I will not hold it against him. And like I said, no one more deserving than him.
For one night, I will not pick on him about the Buckeyes. Tomorrow, I'll pick on him about the Buckeyes. But tonight, I'll let him. He gets a pass because he is a Hall of Famer as of tonight. All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Your NBA playoff update, your Major League Baseball score updates from this afternoon, and what are the Dodgers going to do without Clayton Kershaw? A lot of Dodgers coming back on the rehab trail. Yasiel Puig, he'll be the first, hopefully tomorrow night for the Quakes. That's what it looks like. We'll be back. You're listening to your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
You know what? I will have some meatloaf. Let's have some meatloaf.
You want some?
Yes. I knew you'd come. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
What is she doing? I never know what she's doing back there.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports.
in this dojo, does it? No, Sensei! Prepare!
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Guys, don't hurt me for this, but I wasn't a big Karate Kid guy.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I liked it and I watched it, and I'll probably watch it again, like the original, but it's not like one of those, my all-time favorites.
Well, it didn't have to be your all-time favorite. It was just damn cool, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Ralph Macchio was like the wimpiest kid in the world. Looks like he was like a weeping willow or a reed in the wind. He was not the toughest of guys. And you had Cobra Kai
and Elizabeth Shue.
Elizabeth Shue.
Man.
Oh, that's why everybody watched it.
Are you watching the new series?
Of course I am.
Are you, Holla?
Yeah, I might take a down.
I have the YouTube Red, and I have it just for that reason, so I can see Cobra Kai. I'm very excited. I love that stuff.
I like Karate Kid 1 and 2. The first one's not.
Oh, yeah. Then they started getting goofy. They had a girl
number 3
in there.
Was weak. Number 3, after,
Is that the one where they had the girl?
Yes.
No offense. I'm not a misogynist.
No, that was
the right word.
That was 4.
4?
3, Macchio came back to try to defend it.
Oh, yeah. Once you start doing all that stuff, they lost me. It's like when Rocky. Remember when Rocky lost his mind? It was like Rocky 5. Remember he was losing his brain. And there was a robot.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
I do remember that one.
I'll take the death row of that. I actually like the Rocky series all the way to the last.
All the way
Stop
through?
it. Stop it.
Honestly, I even like the Rocky Balboa. I like the way it ended.
Oh, no, those were good.
No, the way it ended and everything.
Yeah.
But
the one with Tommy Gunn Morrison was terrible.
It was terrible, but
it was terrible.
It was, he lost everything in 5. He lost, to credit to his accountant.
He lost the robot. The robot that was the robot nanny. Do you remember that? And his real kid was in the movie.
Guys, I got some breaking news.
Okay, breaking news.
Breaking news here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. If you didn't know already, we're brought to you by Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change. You'll be spoiled by great customer service and low prices. Get your car in there. I'm sure you're already overdue for an oil change. Just hurry up, get to Spoiled. Okay, so our good friend Yancey Dodson, the head basketball coach at Riverside Poly High School, one of the greatest basketball programs in the state of California, he says, not a Karate Kid guy?
No.
I show it to my teams every year, life and season lessons.
What? Wax on, wax off.
But here's the deal, Coach Dodson. I love Coach Dodson, by the way.
I like him.
It was one of those movies where you watch it once and you're like, that's a good movie. But I never circled back and said, I got to watch it again.
That's why you played soccer.
I did play soccer. I was really good. Yeah.
I got something for you guys to think about. It's about Rocky 4.
We're going back to Rocky.
They went to Russia, right? They went to Russia.
That was a good one.
Okay, they went to Russia, right?
Yeah. He's going to break him.
Okay, who took care of the kid when he went? Well, it wasn't the robot, right?
Robot?
No, the robot, I think, was in the next one.
Who took care of the kid? He left the kid in America, and he went to Russia. And his
grandma.
Is there an answer to this?
Dude, I don't think so, because when he was watching the fight with his friends, it was just the robot.
Is this like a plot hole in the story?
Yeah. It was the robot nanny.
I don't know.
It was the robot nanny.
They let the robot nanny take care of the kid for 6 months.
You're darn right, because he was training hard. He was in, where's the place where they have the prison? He was in Siberia. He was doing those inverted sit-ups.
Oh, yeah, he was crazy.
He was fighting Drago. And you're going to fight Drago, you're going to need a robot watching your kid.
A robot.
All right, so
a robot.
Can I ask you?
Yes.
What was more, as a kid growing up, seeing Mickey pass away in Rocky 3 or Apollo in Rocky 4?
Apollo.
Yeah.
When Apollo died, man. Because remember they were dancing. Remember they were hugging and dancing in the surf? Do you remember that? The love between
James
Apollo
Brown.
Creed.
Yep, James Brown was performing.
Between Apollo Creed and Rocky when they were hugging in the waves, shirtless. It was mesmerizing to see my two heroes hugging in the flesh.
As a kid, I cried Rocky 3 when Mickey died, because that was great acting. Sylvester Stallone, that was some great acting.
Hey, did you know he won an Academy Award for Rocky 1?
Did he?
Yes.
Sylvester Stallone did?
Yes. Boom. He won an Academy Award for the Best Original Screenplay. And it was also up for an Oscar for Best Picture.
Was it really?
Rocky, my friend. Rocky survived.
One of the all-time greats.
One of the all-time greats. And you're not a big Karate Kid fan. Were you a Rocky fan?
I was into it. I mean, like, I saw all the movies.
Are you more into Bendham like Beckham?
You know what my favorite childhood movie was? And you guys can't laugh. And I'm only sharing this because we're family on this show.
All right, tell me.
Your family, your family.
All right, go
so I
ahead.
trust you guys.
We're going to tell everybody.
I trust you guys aren't going to make fun of me.
All right.
My favorite movie as a kid. Can we get that NBA playoff score first?
Yeah, well, no, we don't.
Is that Sixers Celtics? Then I'm going to hit you.
It's over. 103-92.
All right, 103-92. So I feel like we talk sports. 103-92. Philadelphia wins Game 4. There will be a Game 5. It's 3-1 Boston up in the series. My favorite movie as a kid was the Popeye movie.
Yeah, that's horrible.
You know, have you seen the
That was
Popeye
terrible.
with Robin Williams?
I'm going to tell you, it was horrible.
That was like a movie / musical.
It was.
It was terrible.
Yeah, I look back on it now and I'm like, it was awful. But my favorite scene was when like he ate the spinach and like he cranked up his arm like this, and then he hit the octopus, and the octopus goes like flying like hundreds of feet in the air.
Yeah,
that was the best scene. I'm like, I'm eating spinach.
I'll give Robin Williams. He was the best. He was a good Popeye.
He was a great Popeye.
Yeah, he was good. But man, not a good movie. Shelley Duvall.
I
Shelley
know.
Duvall did look like olive oil though.
Yeah, it was casted really well. You know, I mean, like it was anyway,
but it was
so.
just a bad.
It was
bad movie.
It was really bad.
Yeah, and you don't watch Karate Kid. You know what? You should go home and shame yourself.
I know.
Just go sit in a closet for about an hour.
Apologies.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. Elizabeth Shue. I do not like Elizabeth Shue.
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying I don't like Karate Kid or I don't like Rocky. They're not my go-tos.
So they should be.
How about sports movie?
Yeah.
What's your favorite sports movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you count The Sandlot?
Yeah.
The Sandlot.
Come on.
It makes me laugh, man. I love it. Cracks me up. The Sandlot.
Slapshot is for me.
Bull Durham.
Bull
Durham's another good one. I love Hoosiers, but Slapshot. Have you ever seen Slapshot?
Yeah.
I love it. I'm not even a hockey fan, but I love that movie.
First Major League.
Major League was good.
Oh, you know the other one I loved? Rookie of the Year. Remember where Harry, or what's his name? Henry Roland Gardner?
Oh, yeah.
He breaks his arm, and when the doctor like reattaches it, it's like bionic.
Yeah, you've lost me.
I loved it.
Did you like Angels in the Outfield too?
No.
Yeah,
I didn't. I don't think I even saw that one.
I am concerned about your.
No, I didn't see that one.
You know what? You need a week. When we go up and we go look for Bigfoot,
yeah,
we need a week of like just testosterone
80s
driven
movies.
80s, but yeah, and we need to like fist fight too, like once a night. Just you're around. You have 3 daughters and a beautiful wife.
I've got a house full of women.
You're like Little Women. You're Little Pep.
Mm-hmm.
Little Pep and his women.
I told you, they bring home movies of mermaids and little ponies and
now
cartoons.
we need to be in a tent. We need to fart. We need to drink beer.
I bet you know the whole Frozen movie, huh?
The what?
The whole Frozen movie. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you definitely need a punching. We need to go up and fist fight up in the mountains.
At the Warham Estate, have you guys seen Frozen?
Hell no, I don't know anything about Frozen.
I know all about
My
Frozen.
kids might, but I don't.
I know.
Refuse. I do
You
watch.
refuse to sing it?
I refuse to watch it. I love Disney movies, but I can't watch it.
We got a break.
Okay.
I know.
sorry.
I know you guys hate me. But we do have to break.
Yancey, he has no clue.
When we come back, we'll talk real quickly about Major League Baseball and Yasiel Puig rehabbing with the Quakes. It looks like it's going to happen. We've got the details when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
I'd say more like 1 out of a million.
The Rancho Cucamonga Quakes.
Your home for sports in the Inland Empire is Fox Sports IE 1350. 1350. KUBE AM Riverside.
You are still dangerous. You can be my wingman anytime.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
Hey, Kenny Loggins. Riverside loves the Loggins. Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We are brought to you by Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. Please, do me a favor. Go ask for the special of the week. It's going to knock your socks off. It's going to save you thousands of dollars. You're going to look like a hero, a champ, because so many people lose money. They get swindled out of money when you go buy a car. Not at Catalano Motors. You're going to get a sweet deal. You're going to brag to all your friends. They're going to be like, I can't believe you got it for that price. Yes, you did. At Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. CatalanoCars.com is the website. Hey, Inland Sports doubling up right now. We're live right now on Fox Sports Radio, of course. We're also live at the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. If you go to the Inland Sports channel right now, doubling up live content.
We're like a network.
Of course.
We're like a full-on network. What's our first sitcom going to be?
I don't know. Fight Club.
No. Pep watches Frozen. It'll be you and three girls.
That's awful.
You and your zany.
That doesn't sound fun.
Your three zany daughters.
But we're gonna go in the mountains and fight.
No, that's what Greg and I are gonna do. You're no longer invited.
Not invited.
You're not even a Karate Kid guy.
Weak sauce.
Popeye. Sweep the leg.
You
We're
guys.
gonna teach you how to do the crane. We're gonna go stand on a log and we're gonna practice the crane move.
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna do that. We're gonna drink beer, fart, and eat beans in a tent.
Hey, shout out to the Cal Baptist softball team. They made it to the postseason. They're going to open up against UC San Diego at Chico State on Thursday. Local baseball news. The Quakes are off tonight. Greg's going to go home. He's going to listen to Creed, get to bed early. It's going to be a great night for Greg Holla. They're going to be back in action tomorrow night. Rancho Cucamonga going on the road to Lake Elsinore. And it looks like, according to several different media outlets and reports, that Yasiel Puig will be rehabbing with the Quakes tomorrow night on the road at Lake Elsinore. And we could see Logan Forsythe rehabbing with the Quakes later this week. And hopefully Justin Turner of the Dodgers will be right behind him. So we could see several Dodgers in the coming days and weeks rehabbing one after the other with the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. That's pretty exciting.
Hey, does Justin Turner have a new beard?
I don't know. He always has a beard.
Yeah, but he should shave it at the beginning of every season.
He should.
He should, because now he looks like Rip Van Winkle.
He's been asleep a long time.
He is Rip Van Justin
We'll
Turner.
see if we can wake those Dodger bats up from that long slumber. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock, we will be back. Make sure you check out the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame live right now on the Inland Sports YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, right here on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Don't make fun of Popeye. No.
In case I don't see ya.